The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 11 spread picks, game previews, free money, nonsense teasers towards the end, guaranteed, if you follow them, to lose your money. Always something good comes along with that, plus the super locks of the week. If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, easy way to do so. Smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. Tell me your favorite spread or total of Week 11. Boom! You're in that draw for 20 DK bucks, as you will be if you subscribe, download, rate, and review the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast. 5-star review. Something nice about the show. Below that DraftKings handle, you'll be in the draw for 20 DK bucks. Winners announced every Monday live on the Pat Mayo Experience, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the DraftKings YouTube channel. Also the Pat Mayo Experience Facebook page. If you're like 98 years old and use Facebook, you can watch it there too. Geoff Fienberg's here. What's up?
I use MySpace.
Do you?
No. I'm here. I'm fine.
Have you ever had Facebook? I feel like you've never had it.
Never. That was the hill I died on. I thought it was just so corny.
Do you ever get
age,
left out of things because
I don't
you're not
get
a part of the group chats?
I don't get invited.
Yeah.
But I am invited.
Sure, but
But sometimes I have to like find out about it or just in the group chat like on the WhatsApp.
Okay.
But yeah, no, screw Facebook. I did have a fake Facebook account once. And I had to like message them to take it down. It was really annoying.
Like someone signed up as you?
Yeah.
Was it Tim? He's very fluent in burners.
I doubt it, but they found this picture of me and Manny Ramirez and made it my profile picture, and I don't know, I was kind of annoyed because the hill I died on, and Zuckerberg and his Al Davis-esque haircuts and his downward spiral, despite his upward spiral bank account, make me proud that that was a hill I died on.
Guess so. Most people still have it.
Yeah, I don't know, your mom or your... Like,
no, everyone still has it. Except for you, apparently.
Never once.
It's the Messenger. The Messenger's great.
No, not for me. There's
Not
other
for you.
ways.
You don't want to be invited. You don't want to know about things.
No, I'll find out about it, but I don't need it.
Maybe you'll find out about it.
Fair enough. No, I'm happy that I Facebook free life.
Well, I mean, you have Instagram, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, regrettably, I have Instagram, yeah.
That's also a Facebook corporation.
It is.
The third member of the team did not show up to watch the games last week. The coin got back to its winning ways. Paul Shaughnessy, behind the camera, resident Bills fan, putting in the graphics, chiming in from time to time. And the fifth member of the show, worst place, Tim CUST.
Tim CUST.
That's not my name. I use ICQ.
Did you ever have ICQ?
Oh, God, no.
Really?
I for sure had that.
Yeah.
I started with Messenger.
Like MSN?
Yeah, MSN Messenger.
I had ICQ, but that quickly evolved into Miranda. Miranda was like a side ICQ program that you could have where you could tell if people read your away status, so you know which broads were trying to hit you up. Then you just like slide into their ICQ DMs. There was all DMs at the time. That's how you knew. That was the hack.
I loved ICQ.
That was like
I'll shed a tear for
8th
that
grade,
shit right now.
7th grade.
Yeah, crush that shit.
The
I
advent.
can hear that noise right now. I can hear it right now. And there's like a couple people you really wanted that message from.
If you went on ICQ
Yeah.
right now, you think anyone would be on it?
No. But I was almost tempted to say I could probably guess my number, but there's
I
no
would have
chance.
No idea.
What about MSN? You think anyone's on that anymore?
No.
No.
You
I was
have
on that.
Do they still have AIM?
Oh, I don't know.
Was that AOL Instant Messenger?
I think that's right.
That used to be a thing.
My Facebook is my group. I'm not here to glad hand like random people I used to know. I don't care about that shit.
It's not even that used to know. Like, Tim, how much organization do we do through Facebook Messenger between everyone we know?
My gracious, a ton.
We have
ton.
like 12 separate groups with 12 like it's like when you do like a round
there's groups and there's subgroups.
But it's all for different things. So like you know when you have like you play like a 12 team parlay, but you can like do the round robin for it where it only includes like 6 of the games. We have like groups sectioned off for that. So like here's one for our fantasy football league. Here's one for like a vacation that we're planning. Here's one for Christmas time, like renting stuff.
Honestly,
I suspect there's one that I've been excluded from that I'd like to get in that I don't think I am in.
probably.
There's actually not a group.
I don't know. Twitter is the best. To me, it's far and away the greatest platform. It's free. It's amazing. It's exponentially less phony than the other platforms.
Give me a break.
No, I'm not saying it's not phony. It's just way less phony.
Listen, if I wasn't doing this for a living, I don't know if I'd have Twitter.
You just wouldn't live in certain subsets of it. But
I know I wouldn't have it. It's a pure toxic place that's just filled with angry people, phony people, and negativity. That's all it is.
Yes, but you can find nice little niches that work.
Sure.
That work well.
Sure, it puts you in touch with people who are like-minded with you, and you can get to know those
But like,
people.
there's certain caves of that place that are nowhere I won't go near.
But that's most of Twitter.
Yeah. 100%. But there is ways to have very positive experiences.
Instagram is the
Twitter.
best of all of these platforms.
That's wrong.
Yeah, it's true. It's the only one that just doesn't seep negativity. It's like fun.
Yeah, I see a lot of negativity on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure. Has anyone ever messaged you anything like mean on Instagram? No.
I'm not really on that. I use Instagram so like my aunts and like people that live away could like see my kids, and I'll give them like 2 pics every season. That's me on Instagram.
Okay.
No,
Twitter, I don't know. Twitter is the elite platform. It might be the meanest platform, but it's the elite platform.
All right. Recapping the picks from last week. The coin, the big winner of the week. First winning week. First week win for the coin of the year. 8-4-1. Raising its ceiling in season total to 63 and 84. Geoff, you were second last at 5-7-1, 73 and 72 for the year. Tim, you were 6-6-1. You're now 69. Nice. In 76 for the year. I was 7-5-1. I'm 74 and 71 and take a 1-game lead over you, Geoff, in the overall season total. Turns out none of us are having very good picks years. Superlocks,
no,
we all pushed.
Yeah, that was really annoying. I got 2 pushes in a row that I'm really annoyed about.
It's annoying.
But,
I knew that I had no chance of losing that bet as soon as they didn't convert from 8 consecutive cracks from the 3-yard line. I was like, okay, I can't possibly lose this. But I actually kind of thought I was going to win it because teams just do not lose that situation. So it's still
you're so lucky. You're just so lucky.
You are incredibly lucky.
No, you were the lucky one.
Yeah, the entire
You're
thing,
the lucky one.
It all came down to Jarvis Landry celebrating too much after his touchdown, pushed the extra point back like a 55-yard PAT that they missed, and that was the point they needed to cover. It also came down
to the referees deciding that Mayfield actually did push that ball. No,
he did. It was a forward pass. You can't count that as a completion every time that you run it.
You better shut up because you got bailed out so freaking hard when Josh Allen fumbled at the 4 and they're able to get a first down at the 1. I didn't even think that was legal. I thought when you fumble like that, it's got to go back to the fumbling spot.
I would just
you can't like just throw a fumble forward.
Your team had 8 cracks from the 3 and scored no points.
Yeah, hence you're the lucky one. That's why That's why you're the lucky one. Yeah, I know. You bet against the Browns because sometimes, too often, they fucking play football like they're at a blackjack table hitting on 19 when a dealer's got a 7. It's so freaking annoying.
And as a blackjack professional, I can tell you, you never hit on 19. You double 19. If you're going to take that hit, you might as well make it worth that way or not.
Well, you're not taking
Tim,
2 cards,
you got
so
lucky, and I'm an idiot because I just should have put the stakes out there when we did the show last week, and it would have been a freaking money line bet. Because you just will fall for anything. But I just glad-handed you the spread like a normal person.
Appreciate it.
You should be chugging that Ray Charles, delicious cola right now.
I had lined up the I want to buy the World of Coke YouTube ad to tweet at you, Geoff. When that fumble went back for a touchdown for a moment. I was ready.
See, if you had done that, the Browns would have come back and covered. They would have went for 2 at the end.
What's so funny is, and I almost messaged, but I almost because I assume I was hoping you were watching with Butts, but could you just get a Diet Pepsi on hand? Because I need someone to film him having to drink it.
Oh, I purchased one and put it in my fridge in case I had to pay off the bet.
So now what are you doing with it? You giving
in my fridge. It's in my fridge. I'll probably throw it out.
Someone will come over. You'll be like, you can drink that garbage,
I'll
right?
give it to somebody. I'm not drinking that crap.
That would have to lead you to believe that he's inviting people over.
But it is quite amazing how upset that it like gets you. Like Tim is essentially as upset about like a Diet Cola or cherry or sour candies as like I might be about like terrorists.
You're not wrong. Yes, it gets him that triggered. That and like saying "okay, boomer" to him, which we know that he identifies as a boomer. He does not like that.
It doesn't bother me. I'm not a boomer.
Okay.
But the two reverse line movement games last week, I mean, the Browns should have come through. They ended up pushing, and the other one was the Bears. The Bears game, and they wrecked the Lions. The Lions.
Yeah, but that game was
you know
it's
what?
hard to
Stafford played
quantify
that-
that line movement.
Not really. It was two and a, it was
Stafford
2.5 all week, and then if you had bet it at 6.5 after Stafford was out, you still won.
Okay, yeah, no, you're absolutely
Stafford
right.
plays that
And
game, the Lions win by 7.
No, they don't.
Like it's not even close. Actually, the Bears eked out a 7-point win.
How did they
Terrible
eke out a
quarterback.
7-point win? They were winning 20-6 for like the majority of the second half until they went into prevent D with 3 minutes left, and then Detroit
Stafford had
came back
played,
and
it
scored a
wouldn't have
deep touchdown. So it's like you didn't
Stafford
even
had
watch
played,
the
it
game.
No, if Stafford had played, it wouldn't have been close. It's really not up for question. Like the Bears were terrible the whole first half. You don't think it would have been like 21-0 Lions at the end of the first half? Of course it would have been.
I mean, the Bears were winning at the end of the first half. So
It wouldn't have been close. Like it wouldn't even been in this realm. That's how good Stafford is, how important he is as a quarterback.
The
I
other
guess-
one that I jumped on Sunday morning was Tennessee plus 6.5
Yeah,
over Kansas
beauty.
City. Felt like
We
a
were
real
on
cheap
that-
win.
We
were on it
that
anyway.
with a pick'em, so
Yeah.
that felt like I was getting robbed and lucky. And you mentioned these reverse line movements that have been cashing so much. Now you just feel like I'm getting burnt. You're getting burned on them. Tampa last week
Was the push.
going to overtime, and man, Seattle's so lucky. I'd have bet the farm against Seattle this week if they were playing off back-to-back overtime games. But a great time for them and their
Catch a
bye.
bye.
Yeah.
Thursday night game. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Cleveland's favored by 2.5.
I'm going back.
40 is the over-under. I can't imagine, almost like last week, who is possibly lining up to bet the Browns in this game.
Come with me.
I don't know, man. This Pittsburgh defense is real.
Awesome.
Is a real defense. The Bills' defense isn't a real defense. It's not. It's not that good.
Pittsburgh never, how do you put this? Despite all their winning, and I'm myself included, but everybody, we kind of just failed to want to give them a certain level of respect.
Not me.
And now it feels like they're getting all of it from the public, but not Vegas. I don't know who would want to bet Cleveland here, as you said, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Cleveland. I'm worried they're going to hit on 19 again.
I like that it's only 2.5, that they can win by a field goal, and that's fine.
Last week's the Bills game was 2.5. In a lot of places, it was flirting. The threes were like plus 100, plus 105.
That was the thing. I had -3 at plus 110.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wish I just had the 2.5.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So I see what you're seeing here. I actually don't know what the money spreads are between this. I didn't have a chance to look at it yet today. Don't normally look at it on a Tuesday because obviously most people have not bet yet, but you get all the early steam. Like where is all the money going early on in the week? Then you can track the lines from there. This one hasn't moved, but I would venture a guess that it has to be like an 85-15 split on Pittsburgh. And most of it's probably money line Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I would agree. I would see it much like last week.
So Tim, do you see a path for Cleveland winning this game?
Sure, if Rudolph plays badly. He almost lost to Brian Hoyer. He was that close. And I mean, they beat the Rams last week when the Rams were only by 5 and the Rams didn't score an offensive touchdown in the game. So yeah, there's certainly ways for the Steelers to lose this game. I feel far less certain about this than I did about the Bills, obviously. But here's the thing. The Steelers just don't lose to the Browns. I think they haven't lost them since 2014. I think they've lost to them twice in this whole decade of the 2010s. Like, I'm just not going to pick the Browns in this game, and I'm certainly not going to lay points with them. So I get that there are certainly ways for the Browns to win this game, but I am not that person lining up and taking them. I'll take the Steelers. It just seems like the right play.
I'm going to take Cleveland -2.5 here. I'll go with you, Geoff. There's no chance I'm betting this game in real life.
This is the time of year We've seen it a couple weeks in a row now. I'm telling you, where bad teams or teams that were supposed to be good but have been bad. You got to beware of their ceiling game. You got to beware of it.
The Browns had their ceiling game against the Ravens. That was their ceiling game when they just destroyed Baltimore in Baltimore. I think so, at least. I mean, they could do that again here. Although,
I know the spread was small, but, the Chargers versus the Packers, the Falcons versus the Saints, teams that had expectations.
The Jets against the Giants.
Absolutely. Teams
Jets
that
against the Cowboys. Jets against the Cowboys is the better example of it.
Yes, but that was different. That was more...
It was really fluky.
Listen, the people thought, myself included, I'll wear the egg. I didn't have what he had. But I thought the Jets were going to be an upstart team to be.
You know what? There are some wins on this.
I thought the Jets.
Don't give up on us yet.
I don't want to go there right now. Just
we're
stop.
going to. Don't worry.
Stop for a second. I thought the Jets wouldn't have shocked me at all if they were where the Bills are. I mean, now it feels like crazy to think that, but that's
here's the thing: the Bills also aren't good.
Okay, fine, but record-wise, that's where I thought that it was set up for them to be with the trajectory of some of their players, with some of the additions. That's where I thought they would be. But I don't think they sort of had the Falcons and the Chargers, what people may have thought of those teams' ceilings in August, per se. And they've come, both those teams, 2 straight weeks, we've seen them big upsets, ceiling games. I don't know. I think this is a spot where we get the Browns ceiling game for the year.
And now I'm curious. Paul, can you pass me my computer, please? I want to look up to see what the spread of the money is here in these games.
I could do it.
Can you look that up for me? I have it hot linked on my computer.
Yeah, you just send me the link. I can tell you.
How can I send you the link if I'm not on my fucking computer, Tim?
Well, your phone is a computer, sir.
Yeah, I don't have it hot linked there. That's why I need my computer.
Yeah, it's for early in the week. We're talking about 66%. I'm seeing on Pittsburgh.
No, that's nothing. That's absolutely nothing.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the line. The line is staying the same though, so they're baiting it.
Well, I mean, they're not going to push it for 66% anyway, especially this early in the week. Not a chance. Even if it is on Thursday, most people will wait. I see 53% of the cash on the Steelers from the site that I use, despite most of the tickets coming in on the Steelers. So there's a lot of secret Browns money out there.
Okay, well,
bigger bets on the Browns. That leads me to believe I like this Browns pick a little bit more.
We're obviously gone to 3 sites because I'm seeing a 66, and another site I use says a 64. So,
all right, next game, Sunday slate: Atlanta at Carolina. Atlanta coming off this huge win, but Carolina is 5.5 point favorites at home. 50.5 is the over/under. Good DFS game here. No Austin Hooper, no Devonta Freeman for the Atlanta Falcons, and they may have just won their Super Bowl last week, and Carolina probably should have won in Green Bay. If Curtis Samuel doesn't block the camera, Christian McCaffrey might be in the end zone.
Geez, they definitely should have covered, but whatever.
They should have, but I like Carolina in this game. I'm kind of encouraged by Atlanta. They have more sacks the past 2 weeks than they have all season long. And they did it up against a really good Saints offensive line. And the Saints just looked completely out of sorts last week. Losing Lattimore really kind of shook their defense a little bit. But I think Carolina's D can show up in this game. They still have one of the better pass rushers in the league. Atlanta's offensive line's still not very good. I see the points coming, and there could always be a back door with Atlanta. But I still think that they're more like the team that we saw the first 9 weeks than the team that we saw last week. So I'll take Carolina to cover at home. If Carolina wins that game against Green Bay last week, this line is 7.5.
Okay. I'm 100% with you. Even if I liked Atlanta, I don't know if you could bet them, Pat, because that win last week cost you key numbers. It cost you 6, it cost you 7. Them beating the Saints. Because that should have been there for someone who wanted to bet Atlanta. And I would tell you the advanced line on that game would have probably been something closer to 8.5. So there is no value on betting Atlanta, and it feels like you're getting a big break if you want Carolina. So I see what you're seeing, Carolina. I'll lay the 5.5. Ryan wants to sneak it in. Fine, but Carolina.
Coin is going with Carolina as well. Timothy?
The round of Carolinas, just like the Falcons were outrageously undervalued last week at 13 points, an unjustifiable line against a team they always play close and tough. This week, the line is now way too short again. Carolina's run defense is absolutely terrible, and against a team that can run the ball, they would be able to rip them up. Atlanta's not suited to do that, so I would not be taking the Falcons in this game. But in a couple of weeks, the Falcons go back again to play the Saints on Thanksgiving again. I kind of like the Falcons to perhaps even win that game again. So keep an eye on this. The Falcons have some good games still left in them, but I don't think this is one of them.
Where do you think Cam ends up next year?
I think there's a real chance that a team that's going to draft Chase Young high will go after him. So that may be the Dolphins. That could be any number of those types of teams.
Did you draft who high?
The lineman from Ohio State.
How does that player correlate with Cam Newton?
Well, you're not going to be taking a quarterback high if you take him. So as such, you're going to spend money on a quarterback.
I've seen
Like
a lot
Miami,
of dots. I've seen a lot of
Miami,
dots.
that makes a lot of sense for.
No, I don't think it does, because I don't think you're going to have Cam Newton there while you're trying to, with the way young quarterbacks work now, it's not like a wait and see.
We're not going after young
Chicago
quarterback. You don't
seems to
draft
be a
young
hot.
quarterback.
Chicago seems to be a
You
hot.
don't think
rumor?
that Miami's going to draft a quarterback?
I said if you take the elite pass rusher from Ohio State, then you don't draft a quarterback because you
They have
take
three.
him at
They've got 3 first rounders.
Yeah, if they had a
but they
chance to
don't need-
take one of the quarterbacks, they'll take a quarterback.
Like,
Not if
are
they-
you telling me they're going to
I'd rather
execute
Cam
all?
Newton.
Listen, there is the angle. Miami executes all 3 picks on depth, and then wants like a Trevor Lawrence next year. That's a little too far away, pie in the sky. Also, Miami's got 2 freaking wins, so they don't get to call anything. They're
No,
done.
they're
They're done trying to call what they want. Now,
I agree.
They
They have a lot more
have
wins than
they have the draft capital to move the board, because
Mm-hmm.
they'll have the Pittsburgh pick and the Houston pick. Both could be playoff teams, though. Maybe not the capital we saw. Pittsburgh, man, trading for Minka at 1-13 with a backup quarterback and doing this. So jealous. Where were we?
Atlanta and Carolina.
we all liked Carolina.
Cam to Chicago seems to be putting all the dots together. That's like the obvious place.
Yeah,
he's
team
gonna
that
go.
like.
I don't think that's where he goes.
No, I don't. Here, is Cam healthy? Or is someone going to get
I
tricked
think-
into damaged goods?
I think that Cam will be healthy by this
Jeff
point.
doesn't
next
want to
year.
hear it, but another
I
team
know.
that makes a lot
We
of
could
sense
be. We're in it.
is,
Yeah.
is the Chargers.
But
Makes
I
a lot
don't
of
think
sense.
so, because I think we are going to execute some draft picks next year.
Perhaps, but I'm just saying that's a spot he would make sense as well. Or
I don't
Carolina.
need. Oh my God! Keep
Or
his
Carolina.
keep his babushkas away from me, please.
Or
I don't need
Carolina
to go
to
from
maybe
bolo
up.
ties to babushkas.
I think he looks great. Like I keep saying, when you're as handsome as Cam Newton, you can really
Oh,
wear whatever
he
you
can.
want.
Listen, I'll give you that. He can wear. He can pull it off. If anyone
He can pull anything.
Yeah.
He can be out there wearing a jumper or a onesie. He'd look fine.
I
Yes,
don't-
Paul.
Cam would fit in real nice in London with all those hats he likes.
That
to
is
wear,
true.
too.
He
Just
could be the face of.
Fascinators.
He could be the face of the London Chargers.
Hashtag fight for London.
I don't know. Maybe Tennessee.
Ooh, Tennessee's interesting.
Tennessee may have their quarterback.
Listen,
At least the guy they're going to ride for a couple.
Where
of
are you going with Ryan Tannehill? Like,
We'll see how the season finishes up. If they win 9 or 10 games,
it would
then
be
you're not
so the Titans to sort of win the 9 or 10 games he speaks of with Tannehill. Sort
then
of
sign-
fall for it or feel like he's earned it. But then they're right back where they are in 18 months of like, oh my God. Like, right? That's the Titans tightening. Or les titans, as I like to say.
if the Bills' defense could get back to where they were the first few months of
Oh,
the season,
maybe.
Cam
Sure.
to Buffalo, because he's like the rich man's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Like Josh Allen's the
Yeah.
bad Cam Newton.
And McDermott there's a tie. I don't know what their relationship is, but how highly he might think of the ceiling.
Well, do we know if Ben's coming back next year?
I was going to say Pittsburgh would make some sense for him as well. But now we're just doing idle speculation, so I don't know how.
I would want if
Well,
Cam is-
there's only so many places though, unless someone gets
I
hurt.
think there's about 20 spots he could go if a team wants Cam Newton. They would
No,
jettison.
because they're like let's say Arizona wants him. They're not getting rid of Kyler Murray.
No.
The Rams could use him, but they can't just
Okay.
cut Jared Goff.
maybe I'll regret this as I am about to enter
Raiders,
years of purgatory.
Raiders, Vegas,
Maybe.
Cam.
Years of,
Carr's played too well. The Raiders are going to make the playoffs. Like, I
It's
don't
fine.
think so.
I'm worried.
Just straight up, who would you rather have, Cam or Derek Carr as your starting quarterback? The answer is 100% Cam.
I don't know if it's 100%, and I think Gruden would probably take. I think Gruden would take Carr.
He didn't even
honestly,
want Carr.
Carr was Carr held them back from winning a stress-free game.
Had he not broken his leg, they might have very well won the Super Bowl.
Oh my God,
2 years ago. It's true.
it's not true.
Dude, listen, Carr is fine, but he's not good enough to not feel you could go in a different direction if you
I like
actually
Carr a lot.
deem someone. right?
I like
Indy?
Carr a lot.
That maybe all doors could be open there. If Cam Newton is healthy, I want Cam Newton. If Cam Newton's gonna patch it up and just so he could pass a few physicals to keep getting that $24 million check, I'm worried. I wouldn't want him. It does feel like it's a fine line because if he's healthy, he could be dominant, but someone else could be walking into just damaged goods that the Panthers know that they're just putting into the marketplace.
Yes, sometimes you sign Drew Brees, other times you sign Dante Culpepper.
Yeah, no, it just, you don't, it's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah. Buffalo and Miami. This game has been bet down already.
Love this game.
Miami plus
Love the-
Could be a
5.
super lock.
Plus
Couldn't
5.
love the Dolphins
Can you
more.
let me stay the fucking line? Please. Both of you.
I deserve blame, even though it seemed like you were yelling at him.
I'm just mad in general. I just want to say what the line is in the over-under. I do the same fucking thing for every fucking game.
All right, what's the line?
You already know it. Just keep
It's
talking then.
5.5.
No, it's 5. As I was
5.5
saying,
on our board.
This keeps getting better.
it has just changed,
It gets better.
which I was trying to get to,
Getting better.
but you wouldn't let me.
Love the Dolphins.
40's the total. How do you get
It's
to
your
40?
show. Go ahead.
I love the Bills. I love the Bills.
Oh, Jeff, you just keep betting against the Dolphins every week.
It cost me my goddamn eliminator last week. I was so angry because I felt so proud of myself for avoiding the Saints. I don't know how the Dolphins are doing it. I don't know how they're doing it. Their offensive line is horrible. I'm still buying into how bad they are. I know they've gotten some Fitzmagic sprinkle, but they have to be humbled.
Yeah, Tim, how many games in a row can Fitzmagic play well before it all comes crashing down?
I don't know. I guess 6, because this will be their 6th consecutive cover. And we're going to take them. This is on the short list of teams for a super lock. We
You
are
guys
most
going to have
definitely.
your Diet Coke Pepsi bet again for this game. You
Might
both
do
love
again.
the other sides of this
And
game.
this time he'll have the Bills.
Do you want to do something? You want to? I'll drink 2 Diet Cokes if we make the spread 3.
No, you have to make it at something and a half. That's the only way this works. No more pushes on these bets.
3.5. I'll drink 2 Diet Cokes, and we'll have our monetary aspect as well. But 2-1 in colas.
I can't possibly say no.
So 3.5. Jeff has to drink 2 Diet Cokes plus the money, and Tim would have to drink 1 Diet Pepsi.
Well, plus
Yeah.
the money
Plus,
too.
plus the money.
We're
He's
also
got in his
teasing
he's
the
got in his
Dolphins.
fridge already.
We're teasing the Dolphins up here as well.
So what point teaser are you doing this week?
We are at. Why is my computer not working?
How helpless?
Well,
do
good
you-
thing I didn't send you that link. Computer
It's a
doesn't even
6
work.
point. It's a 6-point tease.
So you're teasing them up to
11.
11?
Yep.
How painful? How empty do you feel when you are cheering for the Bills and you do see Josh Allen trying to throw the ball more than 12 yards?
Well, you know it's
It
not going to
just
be
feels like a lost
Well,
cause.
it's funny because it
Paul.
seems like he's better on the run at these intermediate 15, 20-yard
Absolutely.
throws. He throws lasers on the run when he's
Yeah.
rolling out. But if John Brown is open 70 yards downfield, Josh Allen will overthrow him by 15 yards somehow.
Yeah, he's someone who needs if Tyreek Hill were a Bill, those two would go to the Pro Bowl every year and throw for they would put up Randy Moss and Tom Brady numbers. That's what he needs. He needs a super speedster who can catch. I don't see it. I don't see them going down to Hard Rock in the heat. They're reeling a little bit. The Dolphins are starting to feel themselves a little bit. It's in a divisional game. I mean, listen, the Dolphins nearly stole the game in Orchard Park. I certainly don't think Buffalo's coming down here and covering 5 or 3.5 for that.
Have you been outside? Do you know how badly they can't wait to get on a plane to Miami?
Okay.
It is
Sure.
it is hitting us here.
Good.
I agree. The full credit to the Dolphins. Their stank is just killing me. They don't even know how to tank properly. But again, as I said before they won their first game, that this whole national media notion that they are tanking, and to me, it's almost funny because they've won 2 games since they pulled the ultimate tank play, which was that pre-halftime play on the Monday Nighter in Pittsburgh, where they were 20 seconds to the half and they did an all-out blitz when an incomplete pass gets them the same result as anything. in that situation. But I don't know. Bills are going to trick people again. Like, we know that the Bills aren't good, but they're going to like look good in this one.
If they can score on defense, they cover this number. That's a hard thing to bet on. I'm going to take the +5 in Miami. Take the home dog here as well. I saw what Tim saw the last time they played against the Bills. They were ultra competitive that entire game. And maybe Josh Allen finally has like a really, really ceiling game, but they just do enough stupid stuff to keep teams close to them at all times.
They do so many dumb things.
Like, we keep saying it every single week. Every time that Josh Allen drops back to throw, the result of that play could be anything. Anything. And we saw it again last week. Fumble forward for 3 yards to have your O lineman recover it so you get a first down, then you sneak it in. He's a great fantasy quarterback.
Incredible.
He's fun to watch.
Buffalo was last year's Carolina. The Panthers started 6-2 last year, didn't make the playoffs. Buffalo
Cam also got hurt last year too.
Yes, but nevertheless, they started 6-2, and they weren't as good as their numbers suggested, and they crashed out. Buffalo looks like they're going down the same path.
The only difference is Buffalo has probably still the easiest schedule the rest of the way. Paul, you Bills fan, you want to chime in?
I just want to thank Tim from all of Bills Mafia he's fully off of the Bills this week after last week's trap game, and he was all about the Bills. Like, I feel really, really good going into this week, knowing that the curse is getting lifted. I didn't want to end up in like a week 8 Geoff type of situation.
No, I got to find playoff spots for the Raiders and the Steelers, and that means I can't find one for the Bills. Sorry.
I still think the Bills win this game. They just win by 3.
Sure. Well, that would suck.
Doesn't this game reek of that?
Maybe, but I think the Bills get back to
Miami will have a field goal to tie from
game.
like 23 yards and miss it.
Miami was the national media. They galvanized the Dolphins. Well, other teams were allowed to be shit and get under the radar. The Dolphins were being called out for how shit they were being.
That's
and
because they made all those trades.
Yeah, of course.
Like, they actively made their team bad.
AJ Green didn't get hurt on Miami. Andy Dalton was like a capable he's not good, great, but like Andy Dalton, kind of what you thought you were getting.
Is his name? What's Flores' first name?
Brian.
I keep thinking it's Martin Flores, like the golfer. Brian Flores, coach of the year.
So I know you started trying to go to Party Marty there.
I was going to go to Party Marty. Party Marty Flores. Is he the coach of the year? Is my question to you. Are you sure?
No, he's not.
This is the worst roster in the league.
I don't know.
That is the reason why I didn't think, and I know they've made a lot of moves, but as bad as Gase has been as a Jet, I thought he kind of deserved a free pass in Miami for actually winning 7 games last year with how bad that roster honestly
Sure, but this roster is significantly worse than the roster that he had.
Agreed. They might win again. It won't be this one. Bills got to take this by a touchdown.
All right, Dallas and Detroit. We're gonna
bring that cola to Butt's house so he could film you when you drink it on Sunday.
Okay.
Bring it with you.
You just got to talk over me, don't you?
I won't do it again.
Really? Can we bet on that?
Not today.
Okay. Dallas and Detroit, there is no line for this game, as we do not know if Matthew Stafford and the broken bones in his back are going to play this week. Apparently he wanted to play last week with a broken back, so maybe they'll just juice him up with something. The doctors will clear him this time around. If not, it's Jeff Driscoll. Fast Times, Detroit High with Jeff Driscoll. What do you think the line is in this game if Stafford plays? Dallas by 2.5? Dallas by 3?
They wouldn't get 3. I'd say 2.5.
If it's
probably Dallas by 7 if Driscoll plays.
I don't know if there's that big of a difference between Driscoll and Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford is a really, really good quarterback, and Driscoll isn't.
Has Tim always had such an affinity for Stafford?
No,
or is he just sort of
new.
In this new wave of how well the sort of Lions have?
I just think Matt Stafford is a really, really solid quarterback.
Agreed. But now you're not
underestimate how good he is.
Yeah, he's 80% Phillip Rivers. That's who he is.
I think he's really good, but you've sort of come on the show today and are putting him in like a category.
I'll just put a pin in this right now, but next season, that's someone I'm looking for as like an MVP type candidate.
So he's going to lead the league in turnovers like Jameis?
I think the Lions next year could be a really special team. If they get a better coach, if they get 1 or 2 more playmakers, that's a team I think destined for big things. But anyway, let's put a pin in that.
I don't disagree, but Lions fans don't need your stank. They've been through enough, bro.
Too bad. I'm taking the boys in this game because I don't think Stafford will play.
Yeah, we're just going to play this as a pick'em like we did last week.
Is this going to be like a huge Zeke game, though?
It should be. They'll try because he had a bad week last week. Every game should just be a Dak game.
I know.
Because he's really good.
The losses, okay, granted, I felt there was some really bad Kyle Shanahan coaching at the end of the game last night.
Detroit for the coin.
The losses for Dallas and San Francisco had to feel exponentially different. If I'm a Dallas fan, it had to suck to lose that game. But it had to, I agree with the notion that, like, I'm a Dallas fan. I went to bed on Sunday, like, we got him, pay him. Like, he was spotting dimes.
They're going to franchise him.
Good. That might be the right move. Or to kick it down the road again, show it again. That 49ers game was like, I don't know. Can he win us games if he's asked to win us games? Jimmy, that is. So
we'll Yimmy. See. Yimmy was trying to throw the ball to the other team.
Jimmy finally lived up to like the siege proclamation. Just they're 9-0 when it happened.
Yeah, he wasn't great. I mean, do you know who really hates Jimmy G? Booger. Booger really doesn't like him.
Well, because he takes attention away from Kyle. The
best player ever who's played for the 49ers, Kyle Juszczyk.
Booger's annoying, but it's kind of more annoying that it's just like people are now just, it's like the in thing to do.
It's not the in thing. It's the correct thing to do. Like, I don't watch Monday Night Football with the sound on, but I made that mistake last night. Not doing it again.
Well, I'll get it. I'll get it next week because I've loved some of the commentator. I love listening.
By the way, also
at least they wore suit and ties, unlike what went on that nonsense that went on in Lambeau this week, where they wore jackets and sweaters. Give them that much.
Again, one of the things that you would be mad about terrorism, this is what Tim is mad about. They wore a sweater
on NBC.
How come this is televised and not just on the radio?
No, it was Fox this time. It's not just NBC with this. Anyway, sorry I brought it up.
So ridiculous. I think Detroit's live in this game. Either way, whether it's Driscoll or Stafford.
You really think the drop off isn't significant?
I think the drop off is significant, but I think that
Stafford has shown a lot.
Yeah, but I think that they play differently. Like, when they have Stafford in, they rely on Stafford to do everything for them. And when Driscoll, at least last week, obviously didn't work out. They were down a lot in that game. But, you don't have Ty Johnson. Now you have McKissick on the field, Tim's buddy. You're going to be throwing the ball on these short passes more. And he's super mobile. That's the one thing about Driscoll, is that he provides problems that way. That it could just be a sneaky thing where they're not prepared for him to come in and just be a guy who's doing play action, just rolling out and running for 15 yards. And you might see some like trickery from the Lions, because are the Lions out of it?
Yes.
Like, if they lose this, yes, but they're still technically in it, aren't they?
Because they would have division games where they could make a game and a half with each of them.
No, they're pretty much everybody in the NFC is dead, except for the 5 teams in, and then the 2 teams fighting for the NFC East. Like we know 5 of the 6 playoff teams almost certainly now.
Yeah, but
now it's just a question.
I was
Philly and Dallas was in.
I forget who tweeted it out this morning, but they showed the records from this time last year, and like Carolina was entrenched in the playoffs, Cincinnati was in the playoffs, and they basically both just lost out. Like, there are teams that are going to fight, and there's going to be teams that are like, I don't know at this point, what, they 4-5, they're going to make a run, or potentially 3-6 that just go on a run.
Who was it? I know Pittsburgh just missed, but they went on a crazy run. I want to say last year.
Dallas went on a big run.
Dallas, yeah.
Yep.
It's doable.
Indianapolis.
I am taking
Indianapolis.
I am taking Dallas though for this game. Denver and Minnesota. Minnesota is favored by 10.5 at home. 39.5 is the over/under. We all picked Minnesota on Sunday night. I was proud of us. Even the coin. We got in on that one. Yeah, we did. It was a round.
I didn't make a game event on anyone with that pick?
No. Round a minute is the only game all 4 of us agreed on last week was Minnesota over Dallas. This game is a bit trickier, though. I want to take Minnesota because they tend to smash at home. But no Thielen. The offensive line is not great at pass blocking. And are they just going to run all over Denver? I don't know.
Throw to a top-tier tight end.
So Tim really wants a victory lap on Kyle Rudolph because he correctly predicted Kyle Rudolph. You were watching the show, and Tim does get a lot of kudos for that. He also said he played Jared Goff over Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson this week.
Yep.
So you take the good with the bad on this one.
Agreed. But the good doesn't wipe out the bad.
Jared Goff
the bad
in Pittsburgh.
He liked better than Lamar. and Patrick Mahomes, who's too injured.
Well, I was big on the Bengals last week, so I was very wrong.
You weren't the only one. That seemed to be a lot of the sharps
Ravens smash bad teams.
smashed them.
Smash them.
It's so funny that Raven win almost confirms to me how good they are, because it's hard to make any.
It's not going to be so good when they lose this week.
Okay, hey, I could be with you, but they're real. I mean, I'm not saying anything that's new, but when they're smashing bad teams, that's when the Ravens are a really good team.
We'll take the Vikings in this game, and I say it with absolutely no confidence. I would not touch the game, but I just don't trust Denver enough to score enough in this spot at Minnesota, even coming off a bye. Seemed like it would be a good spot for Denver. Minnesota had to play a very tight game late into the evening on Sunday, and notwithstanding, I'm going to take the Vikings with no confidence.
I'm taking Denver, as is the coin. Watch this line throughout the week, because no one is betting Denver. Just even looking at the early numbers, 97% of the money is currently on Minnesota. The line has yet to move. If this starts going to like -10, -9.5 for whatever reason, just smash Denver.
I'm leaning where you're leaning, Pat, and I will say it like there is no greater air and tire for public perception spot in the entire National Football League than beating the Cowboys in prime time, especially as an underdog.
If you beat them by,
part of me wishes the Vikings had a game this week where it was more of like a 3-point spread, and I just had to pick the winner, because I would be fading Minnesota, who I think is
good.
Yeah, who I think is good, and their season outlook I'm not worried about. And there's some sneaky. You even kind of talked about how underrated they were this year, like for the talent on their roster in comparison, I think, to their Super Bowl odds.
I believe I'm the only one who has the over on them.
Yeah, and and there have been some sneaky Super Bowl odds even up to a couple weeks ago.
Not anymore.
Now they've really cratered. Like I said, you beat Dallas in prime time. I'd be fading. What I was trying to allude to, Minnesota almost versus anyone in the league this week. I kind of wish they were playing a better team, but I could see this being like that home game versus the Redskins. Just a weird, ugly game. Denver's got a defense. Maybe keep it tight enough.
They can
Fangio
run.
shows some things.
This game comes down to, can they stop the run?
But I would also argue that Vegas feels the public has forgotten about Denver's nice home win a couple weeks ago. Like, they were on bye, they were forgotten. Minnesota just won a great primetime game. What would the advance on this one been? 8.5, 7?
Oh, I don't even know, because I mean they are starting Brendan Allen at quarterback.
I know it's hard to go to the
Drew
window
Lock
with
has
that.
returned to practice, but I think it's going to be Brendan Allen again.
Anyway, I've said a lot of words. If Minnesota crunks them,
they might.
It happens, but I'm going to try to fade Minnesota off that magical. No, I don't even want to say magical, because there's a 3-point spread and we all called it. But a great win in front of everybody.
Because when the Jets beat the Cowboys at the marquee 5:00 game, the whole world thought the Jets were amazing, and then they got crushed the next week. So I think there's some wisdom to what you've said.
I think this is if you were going to play this game, this would be a game I'd throw in the tease. Your tease, Tim. Like, I'd want to tease this down to 3.5 or something.
We're just still how big is the teaser?
It's a 5-team, 6.
And is Thanksgiving next week?
2 weeks.
No, 2 weeks.
This. We got to get hot before it's
guarantees
kicking.
He's on a heater. He's won 1 of 10 so far this year. That's a heater for Tim.
Listen, when you look at the standings, I make it like UC 1-9, but I count 3-9 because I'm giving him the Thanksgiving sweep.
Oh, Thanksgiving sweep. That's a lock this year?
For him, always.
It was last year.
Is it going to be if you play the opposite, you'll also win as well?
I don't know. I can't say.
So Denver, Minnesota, Denver. You're the only one on the Vikings, Tim.
All right.
Houston and Baltimore. I kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier. The spread is -4 for Baltimore at home, 49.5. Everyone's very impressed with the Ravens, as they should be. They beat the Patriots. They beat the shit out of bad teams. This is a good test for them, especially with the Texans coming off a bye week. I don't know if Will Fuller is going to be back for this game, but Baltimore's hearing it now. Everyone was kind of a non-believer, and for whatever reason, that even beating the Patriots didn't push them to the next level, but somehow waxing the Bengals is like, oh my God, watch out for the Ravens. Like
I'm a schmuck and guilty of everything you're saying.
But that's not uncommon, though. That is exactly what has happened. Like, yes, they should beat the Bengals by 300 points. They beat every bad team by a ton, but beating the Patriots is a really good win. And listen, they might win this game and not cover this spread. I think that the Texans straight up win here, But the Texans also do some really stupid things as well. They're still having the bye week after losing J.J. Watt. Now they can kind of revamp their defense a little bit. They were supremely banged up in the secondary, supremely banged up on the offensive line. They're getting a little bit healthier. I just like them to cover the 4 here.
Elite quarterback getting more than a field goal is usually a pretty profitable spot in the league. I hate that I am like sort of this public Raven monkey you speak of, like in sort of realizing it. And I believe they probably will be where they want to be in January, which is a rematch of what feels that way.
Don't sleep on the Chiefs is all I'm saying.
I'm not.
Wait for the Chiefs to wake up here.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, now the Chiefs are going to have to play.
But if the Chiefs are going to have 31 ranked like Rundy, they're dead. You're not going to win in the playoffs.
You know
with
they have
that
the
crap.
8th ranked pasty?
I actually saw 5th.
I think they're down to 8th this
Or
week.
maybe it was a
I believe
DVOA
they're
5,
gonna
which
have
is
to go on the
crazy. And
road. They're going to have to go on the road in weeks 2 and 3 in the playoffs.
I don't care. They have Patrick Mahomes.
They should care
Like-
because they are not going into Foxborough and they're not going into Baltimore and winning. I'm sorry.
As I saw the great bit, yes, I don't know. Right now, it does seem like who pointed it out. They seem like they're constructed to win MVPs and not Super Bowls, but Mahomes is that great. This game, though, as I was saying, as much as I now realize Baltimore is everything, and I am the idiot that wanted to take away credit after the Patriot game, but by what happens versus the Bengals, like I'm putting more stock into, which is weird, but we have our own Ravens subtext, which tells me no. The sign that they're actually really good is when they're beating the crap out of these teams, because anyone that bets this league week in, week out, Pat knows teams that are favored by double digits, they might win a lot, but the games aren't stress-free. The Ravens have a way of making those stress-free. All that being said, while Baltimore might get the better hand if this rematch happens in January, I'm going to take the points with Houston off the bye. We gotta just put a little hole in that Raven air balloon right now.
This game just feels like it's going to come down to Justin Tucker either making a kick to win the game or making a kick to force overtime from like 60 yards or something.
And I'll be cheering for him to make it to win the game because it means we'll cover instead of it going to overtime and Lamar running the Michael Vick 60-yard touchdown.
I believe that's referred to as the Vince Young.
Yeah.
Vince Young had the best one ever.
Fair enough.
Against the Texans, too. Tim, who are you taking here?
Texans, and we're going to tease the Texans up. For the exact reason you said. You give it an elite quarterback, someone who is just as much in the MVP race as Jackson or Wilson, 4 points on the road, and coming off a bye, even though I don't know that Bill O'Brien, A, realizes he was on bye, and B, knows what to do with a bye if you gave it to him. So I don't know how valuable that actually is. But nonetheless, I'm going to take the Texans. I think there's value here. There should be 3. So take the point, and we're going to tease them up.
It feels like Bill O'Brien potentially could have spent his bye week being stuck in a Chinese finger trap and being like,
definitely.
No. Oh, no, tighter.
That's what scares you about betting the Texans, is that Bill O'Brien is the worst coach in the NFL by a sizable margin, and he can ruin any game he's in.
But at least he doesn't have other responsibilities.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Let's get to Indy right now then. Indy's favored by 3 at home against Jacksonville. It looks like it could be Hoyer again in this game. The game total is 44.
Vinatieri still have a job?
Yes, I believe he does.
He's single-handedly costing the Colts the playoffs. I hope he feels great about this vanity trip that he took this season. He should have retired in week 2. The fact that he hasn't is tarnishing his reputation.
I mean, they can cut him.
They're not going to, though.
And this will not tarnish his reputation,
Coach
by the way.
said everyone will be held to the same block, and it's time to go. It's got to happen.
He should have taken it upon himself to get out of town.
And you're right. Tim is alluding to after the Chargers game week 1 where he missed a field goal and an extra point, both makeable. Might have been 2 field goals and an extra point.
It would have been a 3-point game against the Dolphins on Sunday.
He alluded that game, like he might. There was some thoughts that he might walk into the building the next weekend and retire. He didn't. He stuck it out. It looked like the ship might be headed right, but week in, week out, and it's the extra points. And I know they're 35 yards and not like 15. So for statistical reference, it's kind of just a little 3-year window. But he is on a historically bad, like Chargers 2016 pace. And it's
Yeah, I think it's still going to be Hoyer. So I'm taking Jacksonville. It's that simple. I'm not betting on Hoyer, and I'm certainly not laying points with Hoyer. I'm not self-destructive.
I'll take Foles too.
Yeah, coming back off bye, they'll get D.D. Westbrook back. Nick Foles is going to be starting under center again, and I mean, obviously they're down Jalen Ramsey because they traded him. The defense is still like, all right. And I guess the biggest thing here is, well, the attack defense on the defensive line for the Jacksonville Jaguars is very good. They're very bad at run defense. And if there's one thing that the Colts can still do is bully you up front in the run game. Their offensive line is very, very good. But we're working under the impression that it's going to be Hoyer.
And we know Hilton won't be there either. So
Hilton's not ruled out yet. Only Pali Campbell.
I'd be shocked.
The one thing I don't understand is what I have to assume it was Brian Hoyer who called that timeout at the end of the game, right? Because that made no sense to me.
No, it didn't make any sense. But sometimes coaches don't think these things through. They just think, I want to get the right play down. And they don't they're not good at clock management. And that was just a mistake. This stuff happens. I don't get upset about it because it's always going to happen.
Go ahead, sorry.
I don't get upset because this stuff is always going to happen. There's always going to be clock mismanagement. There's never going to be perfect management of clocks. So you just sort of have to accept that people are going to be flawed and make mistakes.
I think that he took the heat for Hoyer calling the timeout.
Maybe.
That's how it felt to me. Because, I mean, it makes no sense. Does it? Like, if you're going to go for it on fourth down, just go for it on fourth down, but you keep all three of your timeouts. So if you don't get it, you can call timeouts to get the ball back.
Of course.
Instead of just losing the game.
But they still got the ball back.
No.
The game ended when Ebron elected to run a route short of the line to make.
Oh, sorry.
But had they have had their extra timeout, they would have got the ball back at the 50.
Had the man just kicked his extra point, they could have tied.
Exactly. Ultimately, Vinatieri holds a lot of the responsibility on this.
Oh, that one just bothered me, but it happens.
I am going to take Indy in this game still. Something fishy about this game.
Jacksonville.
You like Jacksonville? So me and the coin have Indy?
Foles off a bye. Oh.
I mean, it's Foles off a broken collarbone.
Sorry. They get their quarterback back. The team is off a bye. Yes, Indy better have some big punches to throw after losing to the Dolphins. We saw how great the Jets rebounded.
All right, is it time yet?
Yeah, let's do this. The Jets are at Washington. Washington is favored by 1.5 at home against New York.
Outrageous.
38.5 is the over-under in this game. Breaking news, since we have started the show, Chris Herndon has been placed on IR. He is out for the season after mere days after Tim told us that he was his good red shirt keeper in our keeper league that he was playing and saving. So that's a fun one. Chris Herndon, very cursed. This is the most publicly backed game of the week in terms of money. 97% of the money is on the New York Jets. This line has not moved.
How could we lose?
Dwayne. Oh, I like to hear this.
God.
Dwayne Haskins.
Superlock now.
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins notches his first career win.
Sam outplayed Daniel Jones. He played fantastically. He didn't make any mistakes. He threw some great balls. The team defensively didn't play great, but they made some big stops when they had to. The offense clicked again after 3 or 4 weeks of and Geoff being very nervous about what we saw.
I'm still nervous. Don't take away my nerves.
They beat a really shit team, and now they're great again.
They're back. The worst corner.
They're back, baby.
The worst corner in the league, getting roasted by everybody, plays on the Giants.
I was able to take a breath, thinking, okay, this is not an unmitigated disaster the way it looked like the last month.
What happened is you made 3 bogeys and you just parred a hole, and now you want us to glad hand you for par.
You have to stop the bleeding. You got to make that par. You got to make sure if you got the yips and then you make a 20-footer, then you've made it. Okay, maybe you can get over this. It doesn't mean that the round is saved, but it just means, okay, the bleeding's been staunched. The wound's been cauterized, and that's what that game was. Now we take another turnaround. Sam's 2-0 against the NFC East. We turn around to play a absolutely abysmal NFC East team, a stadium that's going to have nobody in it because no one's going to Maryland to watch this game. And the Redskins are favored by 1.5 with Dwayne Haskins, who cannot move the ball down the field. Peterson, we'll see. I'll wait for SEO purposes to talk about Peterson on Sunday. But not the hell with it. He's not going to do anything. He's going to get bottled up. He's not going anywhere. He's going to have a bad game. I don't think the Redskins score a point in this game. I think it's Jets 21, Redskins 0. I love it. We're teasing the Jets up. I don't see it. We will beat a really bad team. Now, in a couple, we think we play Oakland next week. Sure, we're going to get beaten by the Raiders. We play the Steelers later on. We're going to be beaten by the Steelers. We play the Bills again. We'll be beaten by the Bills. Like, this is not a team that's going there. I was glad to see Sam say, if we went out, we make the playoffs. Great. I was glad to see that type of gusto, even though it's not going to happen.
Imagine if Baker Mayfield said that. How upset and
Baker
triggered
wouldn't have
you'd
said
be.
that. Baker would have guaranteed it and then gone to shotgun a beer in the eye line of some cameras. So that's a little bit.
I like how Tim is out here living his truth with this Jets team. This is just fantastic.
I have
listen,
so many things to say.
You know what Washington actually has? A defense.
Yeah.
And,
know
and they
what-
can get to the quarterback.
Do you know Washington?
And the Jets have no offensive
Do
line.
you know Washington's getting their offensive line healthy this week off their bye?
Well, Trent Williams isn't going to be back.
No, but they Schiff, some Brandon.
Sure.
They're getting some big whatever. They're getting some really important pieces back, which is part of the reason that everyone's just seen them get destroyed while hanging in games for some teams with winning records. I liked Washington before the record. I am smitten with Washington now. Tim's lifetime record, when he says a team is going to get shut out. I don't think he's ever won a bet when he's made that claim.
So, but here's going to be the funniest part of all of this. Tim is going to claim that Washington's not going to score a point, yet somehow the Jets won't be a super lock.
The Washingtons might be my super lock. I want to go back to the well. Well,
We're teasing up the Jets, by the way.
I want to.
Yeah, you said that to 7.5.
I don't know what I said. I'm too fired up.
Why? You're fired up because you beat the Giants?
It was a big win. New York City to take.
Oh my God! This is how
no.
pathetic you have become.
I want to make a
It was
bet
in
on
New
this
Jersey.
game. I want to throw more cash and more colas at this one. But before we get to that, Pat, this man needs to be put in his place. I am sorry. You bring everything on yourself. You tweet like you when I literally try to go week in, week out as you are spiraling downward to find out when you're exactly going to start glad handing the 2020 squad. Like, yes, it's repetitive. Yes, it's like part joke, part serious. But it is a fact. It happens. And there you are with your shit team getting ready for 2020.
Well, I just said it could be special. I didn't say it was going to be. There's a lot of factors. I'm just saying
It's
I
the
saw-
first step.
I saw a spark for things that I felt positively about. I'm sorry, I can't help it. When my team is doing well, I get fired up, beating a rival in a team in a city that now clearly it's the Jet City now. It will be for the next 4 years.
Do you
Yeah, we
remember
still-
what you tweeted during the first drive of the Dolphins game like 2 weeks ago?
Yes, I do remember, and that obviously was mistaken.
So this is just a macro of that.
Well, the Redskins are so bad. Come on.
The
They
Jets,
don't-
yeah, but Tim, the Jets are so bad.
The Jets have been able to score points against these bad NFC East teams. We did against Dallas, who's a good team. We put up a bunch of points against the
You
Giants.
lost against Miami.
Yes, I agree. Miami's better than Washington.
They couldn't beat Washington.
Yeah, but you
though.
said that we beat these bad
Not a
teams, but you
failed-
lost to Miami, who hadn't won a game going into that
Tim?
game.
The spread isn't inaccurate. It's not.
should be
I don't have skin in it. I'll bet Washington. If anything, I think the spread is too short because I'm looking forward to betting Washington. I thought so.
I mean,
before your
I would
picks.
bet Washington minus 7.5. Now that this is on Tim's tees at plus 7.5.
Jumbo Jets.
So why isn't this your super lock if Washington's going to score 0 points?
Because this isn't the super lock portion of the show.
Yeah, but you usually say what your super lock is when we go through it.
I will reserve my commentary for the super lock section. It's
So
good
you're
for
taking it.
SFL.
You're taking a team at plus 1.5, and you say the other team will not score 0 points.
It's
Or will
obvious
sco-
who I'm picking for it, but I don't want to say
It's never that obvious because you always change it up and won't take them.
I am going to take this team when we ask that question. But for SEO purposes, it's better to wait. Come on.
How many Diet Pepsis will you drink if they lose?
No, it would just be nothing but DC's to drown my sorrows.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of store-bought frozen chicken eaten cold out of the freezer the next morning.
I just don't see it. I just can't imagine it. I don't.
How could
No.
you can't imagine it? What's wrong with you?
No. We're gonna win this game. We're not good, but we're not putrid. Washington is putrid.
Okay, let's make the bet again. But this time you've got to double up on the colas.
You're on.
So what is the line? 1.5 is the line?
Yeah.
So So CUST you have Buffalo and Washington.
Yeah.
Tim has Miami
And the Jets.
and the Jets.
That's my Ric Flair, by the way.
That's a bad.
But the
Ric Flair.
Jets will cost him 2.
Yeah.
We're reversing the cola intake. It's going to be a sad 4 o'clock slate while you're checking through 3 Diet Pepsis, pal.
You know, my wife started following Ric Flair on Instagram, and she reads me Ric Flair's inspirational quote every morning.
Does she
gets
like
real
read
fire-
it with swag, though? Or she
No,
just like read it monotone?
but she gives a good woo at the end because they all ended woo.
Have you seen his commercial for the fast food at a gas station? I think somewhere in North Carolina. It's not a good commercial. The food looks good.
I mean, the only commercial that you need to be paying attention to if you think that food looks good is that Wilford Brimley diabetes commercial. Last game of the early slate. Saints at Bucks. Bucks plus 650 is the over-under. Geoff, and maybe even Tim, maybe even Paul, maybe the viewers out there, maybe the coin can help me out on this one. Can you please talk me out of betting the Buccaneers? Because I really want to.
The Buccaneers.
I really want to.
I'm the wrong guy. I'm the wrong guy for the job. This is going to be a weird game.
I'll bet you down. I'm taking the Saints and we're teasing them.
Okay, why?
Because I don't expect the Saints to be flat as a pancake 2 weeks in a row. I think that's a wake-up call. I don't think they took that Atlanta game all that seriously. I think they read their own press. They weren't up for they clearly were not up for the game and did not look sharp. That will not happen again. And I don't think they're going to struggle 2 weeks in a row. The Buccaneers did everything they could to almost throw away a game to the Cardinals. I don't, whatever. I'm just going to take the Saints, confident in the knowledge that Breeze is better, and that I suspect that when Jameis makes a dumb mistake or two, they will be lethal.
This game opened at 5.5. It's already up to 6, but it's not like just looking at the numbers right now. It's not heavily slanted one way or another. Everything in me wants
Tampa
to take the
can win
Bucks.
the game.
I think they can too. Have they lost by more than 6 yet this year?
Carolina blew them out.
That's right. They blew. What did
London.
that game end up being? Because they ended up like coming back.
Yeah, they still lost by 13 points. Hold on, I'll effort that.
Yeah, I'd just be curious to see like what their final scores of were games, because it just seems like they play when they're winning by a bunch, the other team comes back and gets into it and ends up like backdoor covering, or they play a stupid game like they did last week against the Cardinals. Where
So they lost by 11 in that game.
is that the only
That was like the 5 turnover game though, too.
But that's
They lost by 14 to the 49ers in week 1.
that's right. Okay, so I mean this is helping me a little bit here.
Now,
But the Saints D is banged up, and that's not good against this team that can throw.
3 weeks ago, it felt like it was literally in a class to be the best in the league. Because
I still think the Saints are the best team in the NFC.
They can be, because they have the ability to rush the passer without blitzing, with the dominating Hayward. And Lattimore, when healthy after Gilmore, felt like he might be the best corner in the league. But they are losing a lot of reinforcements there right now. I think Tampa is live here, Pat.
Yeah, division home game plus 6. Jameis is going to throw fucking 15
they're the
picks or
biggest
something.
home dog. I know Miami was the 5-point home dog. I mean, the Chargers are in Mexico, but it's still not bigger than that. Yeah, I think Tampa. I think Tampa might win this game. Sneaky.
All right, plus 6 Tampa.
Don't want to pick on them, but I would. The Saints are a tough team to pick on teasers, but I would be teasering Tampa too.
I mean, this could kind of go
With
both
Houston.
ways, but I mean, teasing Tampa or the Saints down to a pick 'em like Tim has done is not crazy.
Not at all.
Now they just need to win,
Not at all.
and the Bucks will help you out if the other team is trying to win. Oh, that brings us to halfway of the games, Tim. Do you know what that means? You know what time it is?
Yeah, I do.
It's time for CUST Corner Mini. I have some notes here on the sheet, Geoff.
I see these.
You see those. The one I wanted to start with, though, Tim, Subway has closed 2,300 locations in North America in the last 3 years. Ever since you proclaimed that they were by far the best fast food restaurant on earth. So we've got you for what could be the last time ever, right, Geoff?
I believe that this list might never need to happen again, because Subway could be out of business.
Extinct.
Yeah.
By the next time we get around to it.
Come on.
It is horrible. They made this effort to be Starbucks by showing up everywhere, and obviously it backfired to the extreme.
Yeah, their reach extended past their grasp.
You know,
Fair
there is a Subway that is, I'd say, a 90-second walk from my front door.
You've never been.
I've been there, but I haven't been there in like a year and a half.
I went.
I would
I
be
actually
there
went
all
to
the
Subway
time.
recently, and I got what I believe is Tim's favorite sub, and it was a horrible experience. It was the chicken, and it was like half cold still after it was in the toaster. It was
Oh, we'll
disgusting.
take it back. I would take it back.
It was disgusting. It just shows it was a microcosm of Subway's downfall.
So, Tim, your list of the best Subway subs. The segment not brought to you by Subway.
Yeah, so the best sub is definitely the meatball sub.
No.
Especially if it's cut the old way. Now, it's
No one
becoming-
cuts it the fucking old way, Tim. They stopped cutting it the old way over a decade ago.
It is
More.
becoming harder and harder to find people.
When was
to
the
cut it.
last time anyone cut you the old way? Never?
No,
Never
Does
is the answer?
anyone work in a Subway that would still know how to do it? They're
No.
just like they haven't.
There are some people, I'm sure, who
No.
remember.
When you say I'm sure, that means no.
There
is the
was
answer,
a
'cause
period.
You haven't found them.
There was a period after the change
For like
because I was still
3
in
years.
university
3 years,
where
bro.
like the staff were very well aware of the old way and could accommodate it. I
Yeah.
don't believe the staff that are in there now are aware.
And what year did you graduate university? 2007?
Maybe like the year before that, but yeah,
So it's been 12 years since you've been in college.
yeah. Oh,
And they had
man.
stopped it 3 years into you
Okay,
being
but
in
this is
college.
the cut that I know and that I like. And for the meatball sub, it's the best because it keeps all the sauce and everything in the bread. It's the way to go. It's not the best for all of them, but it is the best. Like in some of them, it just doesn't.
No, it is
matter.
the best for all of them. I agree. It is
Listen,
the
I would
significantly
prefer-
better cut.
I would prefer the old cut for everything. It was the better cut, but I mean, I think it's marginally different for many of these subs. It makes a world of difference with the meatball sub, and the meatball sub happens to be delicious. You got your fresh marinara, your meatball. You can add your veggies, your
Fresh
cheese,
marinara.
like the cheese sort of like brings out some of the more intense flavors in the marinara. I think they marry up quite nicely. It's a delicious meal. The meatball sub is really hard to beat.
He's hold on. He's talking about Subway, like people talk about pairing wines with meats.
Listen, they're called sandwich artists.
That is
for a-
that is
there's
about
an
as
art.
low as you can go. Here's my problem with the meatball sub. I agree with you; it tastes fine enough. But when you go to Subway, isn't the purpose to like, hey, I don't want to go to McDonald's and ingest horrible things for myself, so I'll try to eat a bit healthier when you go to Subway. When you get a meatball sub, you're defeating the purpose.
But it's delicious.
It's not more delicious than like other fast food that is just as bad for you.
I don't know. I think
Yeah,
it's-
no, yes.
I actually completely agree with where you're going.
Like-
I go to Subway. It's like, oh, I'm not going to have like the hamburger. I'm going to have this turkey that tastes like water and is shit.
Paul.
I would agree with you. I think that their original marketing strategy was to be the healthier option, and that's why besides being viciously and or cursed, but that's why nobody goes there anymore. Is because people have actually figured out that like, hey, if I eat a foot-long sub with all that carbs and bread and stuff, it's awful for me. It's just as bad for you as McDonald's.
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on which sandwich you get. It's like putting cheese on any of this stuff. Like if you're actually going to go to Subway to make this stuff like low cal for yourself, basically what you do instead of getting a foot long, you get the 6-inch, but you only take like half the bread of it, eat half the bread, and don't get the cheese on it. Then all of a sudden you're in the realm of like where you're not ingesting a bunch of calories. But if you go eat a foot long, it will actually have more calories in it. And then I'm not even talking about the Coke that comes along with it, or the
but-
chips, or the cookie.
Next thing you know, that turkey's got bacon on it, and it's like,
Yeah, when you could have just went to Wendy's and got a spicy chicken, and it was better for you at that point.
I'm here to poke holes in Subway all day.
So meatball number 1, terrible choice, but next.
Sweet onion chicken teriyaki is second.
Revolting.
Just delicious.
I don't
Just-
mind it.
Third is the Subway Club. It's got Subway in the name. You know it has to be. I mean, come on.
What's on the Subway Club?
I believe it's the roast beef and the turkey, but there's no bacon. I think that's what makes the Subway Club the club. Is that the Subway Club is it doesn't have bacon on it.
I think,
I think it's ham instead of bacon, so you still get your pork.
Maybe that's what it is. Good call. I haven't had that in a little bit, but
But
we've
it
got
ranks
Subway
third.
Yeah,
has to be third.
it has
The
to be
fourth-
third.
Fourth is the Philly cheesesteak. This is a seasonal one, but when they make it, again, I've said this before, it's not some original take of that for this show. I think it's the best cheesesteak you can get. They put
I
like,
hate
pepper
it.
and
This anger.
onion steak all together, and they sort of, again, and there's more meat than there is on the steak sub. we'll talk about in a bit, which again is great. It is a flavor profile. Again, there's a heightened flavor profile to it that I think really makes it top. And you add to that the Southwest Chipotle sauce, which is probably the greatest condiment sauce that you can get at a fast food restaurant. Top notch.
Okay, I'll give him the sauce, but as somebody who like just adores
Real Philly cheesesteaks?
real Philly cheesesteaks, will like go to a town and be out of his way to like Google where I might need to go to get one. And he'll always smart me on the Twitter to, go. Like I was in Philly, like trying to get opinions from real Philadelphians. And he's, telling me to go to Subway. This take angers me so much. It is this fluffed steak that's not even real. I don't, it's like he's never experienced anything to then have these takes. Like even the meatball sub. I could take him somewhere he would be like he'd never
Bring him to a meatball
experienced
shop.
anything anywhere.
There's a bunch around.
It's a really bothersome take because Philly cheesesteak is like a staple. It's not like a staple thing, but it is like an Americana thing, and they don't do it good. It's not even good.
And
I
you know
would
why?
agree.
Because you're going to a place that tries to label itself as healthy. If you're going to eat a Philly cheesesteak, you're just in. You're in for the worst possible for you version.
Sure.
Because that's going to taste the best.
I would even I can glad hand bad quality that still like has this generic good taste. It's not even good. That's what bothers. Like it's a bad Philly cheesesteak.
Do you think Tim
No one
Love-
would agree with that?
No, because you get the real Philly cheesesteak. They have it. They're making it behind you. It's coming out fresh.
Yeah. Oh
Do you
my
think Tim
God.
loves Subway so much because they reheat everything in the microwave?
Maybe. And I don't want to get there, but this is like his list is so flawed because he's got something DFL that's called a steak and cheese.
We'll get into that because it's a phony imitation of a good sandwich, which is this sandwich. It's a phony imitation of it. And you get less meat too. The spicy Italian is fifth. That's a classic go-to. The spicy Italian is a perfectly unobjectionable, delicious sandwich. Then there's a gap because there's a real distance here. The chicken breast, like that heated up chicken breast, it's very tasty. Again, it's a healthier option, whatever. If you're looking to go a little lighter, it's the way to go.
Didn't it used to be your number one?
Paul?
No, it was high, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I don't actually like it as much as the other ones. It is very tasty though. You can't go wrong with it.
Oh, sorry, I cut
Go
you
ahead,
off
Paul.
there. I watched a documentary recently, maybe about 6 months ago, and they did all the fast food places who had the least amount of chicken in their chicken, or what they advertise as chicken. And like Subway was far and away the least chicken inside of the sandwich. I think it was like
rubber
50.
or something.
It was like 52% soy.
I don't care. It tastes delicious.
Oh, soy boy
No,
Tim Andercuss.
people brought this to Tim's attention. I remember these articles that their
it doesn't
chicken was
bother me.
tested to not be chicken.
I still taste delicious. It has those grill marks on it, so you know it's good. I like it. Sorry, I'm in. Then there's the Italian BMT, which is essentially the spicy Italian with one extra meat on it, but actually it doesn't work as well as the spicy Italian, so it's below that. Then we have your breakfast subs. Subway, I would say 4, 5, 6 years ago, whenever it was, introduced themselves into the breakfast market. It is an interesting and good sort of change of pace from your other fast food breakfast places. So the sausage and egg and then the bacon and egg are both good, but I recommend getting the flatbread for the health purposes. There's too much bread at breakfast time. The egg and the sausage is already heavy enough.
Can we please stop?
Move to the flatbread.
This is where this list becomes unreal because Tim has been shown multiple times with the actual Subway chart of health.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
He just denies it, even on people show it to him.
How can a piece of bread that is so thin, it's like a quarter of an inch, how can that possibly be worse for you than the big, thick, fluffy breads with the cheese? I'm sorry. I'm incredulous. I cannot believe that to be the case.
You know, when we tell you that you live your truth, this is a very prime example of that. Here are the facts. Well, I don't believe the facts.
No, he's literally dismissing people trying to give him real information.
Yes, because
As
he
in,
wants to believe what he believes is actually better for
he
him. Yes.
fails to believe that is possible. Well, sometimes I fail to believe in the concept of dinosaurs, but science tells me they existed, Fienberg.
Tim, I hear he's out on science.
What do they have to gain by lying about how many carbs is in the flatbread? That's what. Why are you?
I feel like it's just a misprint. And
Why are you going full Alex Jones about this? Man, the truth's out there.
I think it was a misprint, and that it's sort of been circulated around, and then people. Doesn't matter what you say anymore. It's like, oh, you know, flatbreads are weird. I'm sorry. How can it be so? It just
Hold on though.
Some people are on Reddit like r/Epstein didn't kill himself, r/flat Earth. Tim is on r/flatbread secretly bad for you compared to real bread.
Here's the thing.
No, it
Tim is just making reference to the Subway calorie guide. What about just looking at what like there's other flatbreads and breads?
Yeah, it's the high density of the bread that gets you. Yes, it's thinner, but it's more compact. It's more concentrated. Where the fluffy bread is basically all just fluff. There's a lot of air in there.
Are you here to tell me the Domino's cracker crust isn't technically like healthier and less carbs than the fully fluffed pizza?
That's what I'm telling you, Geoff.
Here, I thought I was onto something.
Why do you think it's important to not have as many carbs in the morning when you can eat all of the carbs you want because you're going to work it off over the course of the day? Like, why do you want to save carbohydrates first thing in the morning? That's my question about this.
And that for health purposes, you'd want to go with the lighter option. That's all. That's why I'm recommending it that way.
Okay,
Well,
Is this
fair
almost
enough.
done? Because I got some
Yes, it
rebuttals.
There is. Then Gap, the roast beef. I don't know why anyone gets a roast beef sandwich at Subway. It's not like it's the cold roast beef, whatever, I guess. The veggie, whatever, I guess. If you're a vegetarian, I suppose that's your way to go to Subway. The chicken bacon ranch is a trash dressing, so anything with ranch on it's going to be trash. Tuna, because, oh God, tuna fish is awful. And then last is steak and cheese, because it's a cheap and slight impersonation of the Philly cheesesteak, which is excellent. And that is the list.
They're the exact same thing. I don't know what you're talking about. Like I've never gone to. So you're telling me if I ask for the Philly cheese or the steak and cheese, there'll be two completely different outcomes.
There's different. The onions and the peppers are fried up in the meat with the Philly cheesesteak, as I remember it. And whereas you have to get the raw ones if you wanted to go steak and cheese. It's just not as good. It's just not as good.
Do they even make this Subway sandwich anymore?
Yeah, it's seasonal.
Okay, I got a couple. My biggest question to you is, just as like a sandwich guy, if this is the preeminent sandwich place and you've listed like 14 sandwiches and you don't have a turkey sandwich, like the place must suck. It must not know how to do it.
I don't particularly care for their sliced turkey that much,
Because it tastes like water.
which is why it's not on the list. I'm not
You should I could go to Subway and have a turkey sandwich, or I could drink a tall glass of water.
You drinking Dustin Johnson?
Yes. Also, let's not forget, we'll put it out there, anyone close to Tim's family and friends, this is the time of year where Tim is now buying his
I was gonna mention
$25 Subway gift card so he gets a free lunch.
No. Now, let me frame it properly. So, again, this is Top
Wait,
Cat.
I didn't frame it properly?
This is Top Cat giving plus EV approaches to people. Here, listen. Christmas is approaching. You're going to want to buy gifts. For a lot of people, you don't know what to buy. Gift cards are great. So when you buy someone a gift card, unless they specifically tell you where they want the gift card to, you'll be happy with any regular place. So if you go to Subway, you get a gift card. Subway will give you a free sit-in sub if you buy a card over a certain amount. So you buy the card, and you're going to give the gift, and it's a genuine gift that you're giving, but why not get the sub in return as well? Why buy the card somewhere? If it doesn't matter to them, if they say, oh, I don't care where you get it from, then why not get it from somewhere that both they'll like and you'll benefit from? Again, some of us are trying to get value out of it. This is a plus EV approach. So,
Imagine being an adult in your 30s and giving someone a Subway fucking gift card for Christmas.
it's a great idea. I do it. You should do it too.
breathe.
And again, get Subway out of it too. I mean, what is there not to like? Like, Christmas is the season for giving. Why not give to yourself too?
Nobody wants that.
I would be enraptured.
You're getting it for yourself already.
But if I got the card, like I used
No,
to
but
love
are
it.
you buying yourself, like you're keeping gift cards because you can
You
get
should
free
always
lunch.
keep a couple of gift cards on hand at Christmas time in case someone shows up that you didn't expect and has a gift for you.
No,
You
but
have-
I mean, like, let's just say we're not seasonally. You have no one to buy a gift card for. You will still buy it because you will spend that money at Subway anyway. So just get a free lunch.
No,
out
he
of it.
doesn't do that.
You would advise that though, wouldn't you?
I don't do that.
No, that's what you should actually be doing. If you're the one going to Subway, because you could give the gift to yourself because you're going to use it, and you get a free meal.
And these people who are telling you they don't know or they're happy with whatever, they're lying. They don't want a Subway gift card.
Well, at this point, they know if they say that to me, they're getting a Subway gift card. That is what I'm going to buy.
Why don't you get one of them like a Visa spend card?
Because if it doesn't matter
He
to
doesn't
them,
get $6 lunch.
Yeah, so you're just selfishly doing this for yourself.
No, it's not selfishly.
It is
I'm
selfish.
buying someone a gift. I'm giving them a gift.
He gets a free 6-inch meatball lunch, and you get a Subway gift card.
Yeah, I mean, it's a win-win. Again, it's plus EV. I'm trying to maximize value out of this world. You are not trying to maximize it. That's the difference between you and I.
I mean, when I give my friends gifts and my family gifts, I'm just hoping that they're not going to stab me at some point because the gift sucks so much. Okay, and that's a problem for you when you're giving out Subway gift cards.
I have never had a crossword or Subway. I've always had, thanks, that's great. I really appreciate it.
What do you, as someone who's around sometimes when you're not around, what do you think people say about that when you're not around?
I think they say that was a thoughtful gift.
No, they don't. They're like, the fuck is wrong with this idiot? Tell him to give his head a shake. Oh, no, it's like, nah, just leave him be. It's Tim.
But I'm glad you brought it up, Geoff, because that was on my list. It's getting to that time of year where, Black Friday's approaching. You can get all your Christmas shopping done Black Friday. Just go to Subway and buy $250 worth of Subway gift cards. And you get tons of Subway to go with it. You can get enough maybe to
Wouldn't that be a bad approach? Shouldn't, let's say you had to buy 5 Subway gift cards. Shouldn't you technically go 5 different times to get lunch?
Well, I bet you that you could get like a party sub for that amount of
What would you want to do with a party sub? No one wants to eat your fucking Subway besides you.
No, people like Subway. You could cater an event with it or something. I don't know. I'm thinking extemporaneously here. I'm just saying.
I buy the Subway gift card so I can get a party sub, which you could cater an event with. A party sub.
I just want to make
what sort of event is this?
That you're happy with a meatball sub on Sunday because you're going to have to wash it down with Diet Pepsi, sir.
You would have to anyway. They only serve Pepsi at Subway.
It's true. However, their cookies. They've got some new delicious cookies out. There's this pink.
They always have good cookies.
And they do. And a caramel apple one. They're soft and they have like neat flavors. I'm a big fan of the Subway cookie.
Hold on. It's a pink lemonade cookie?
It is delicious. Yes, it's at all the Subways.
Let my wife.
Oh, man, it's good.
So I do have one more note here is that I want to congratulate Tim, who has been a doctor for 3 years now. Congratulations, sir.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
3 years, Geoff.
I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Since we changed his name on the graphic from Tim Andercust to Dr. Tim Andercust.
That's when you accused me of wearing a clown outfit.
That is. I thought it was a jester's outfit, but it wasn't. Apparently, that's when you become a doctor. That's what they give you.
Yeah, that was the regalia.
However, did you know that Doug the Pug just received an honorary doctorate from Vanderbilt, and he won the People's Choice Award for Animal Star of 2019?
He didn't even have to go to school.
Didn't.
I worked 5 years to get that PhD, and they're just giving it out to him for nothing.
Doesn't it devalue yours?
Sort of.
Yeah. Giving it to a dog?
No, I mean, you mean Dr. the Pug? That's what the D stands for now. Doctor.
Dr. Doug the Pug. You don't even have that on him.
Oh, that makes me very angry.
Was that your Marvin the Martian impression?
Yes.
Can you try that one again?
Oh, that makes me very angry.
It's actually pretty good.
No, that is a horrible impression.
Good for Tim. Tim impressions.
How about...
Now I gotta get my voice ready for it. That makes me very angry. That's a better Marvin the Martian than yours.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yours just sounds like you doing Christopher Walken.
Hiya!
That's even that's a bad Miss Piggy. My wife does the best Miss Piggy impression, but that one is also horrible. You have the cadence of the hi-ya wrong.
Okay.
Hiya.
Yeah, see? You don't do the right impression, but that's the right cadence. Tim's off on the cadence of it. Should we get back to the games?
Yes.
Or do you have anything else, Geoff?
I don't know. You want to leave this last thing?
Oh, Don Cherry getting fired?
Yeah.
He's fired. He's 85 years old.
Time to go.
Gotta take the hike, pal.
Time to go.
It's funny because what he said got him in a bunch of shit. And people can Google it. They can Google it.
But he said way worse.
That's the whole thing. He gets the benefit of the doubt if he didn't have a 40-year history of saying this stuff.
Absolutely.
You could convince me that he misspoke and that's not what he meant. If he didn't have a track record of saying the exact same fucking thing over and over.
Exactly. If this was like Fred Penner or Dr. Dress Up on CBC saying this, he'd have gotten
Penner.
Or just say Mr. Rogers. That's probably a ubiquitous example of this.
Yeah, sure. Those are like they would be given the benefit of the doubt if he misspoke or he said something that was inappropriate. He'll apologize and whatever. But yeah, Cherry has a track record of saying awful things, and so it was time for him to go. It was time for him to go.
But there have been rumors for a couple years. They've kind of like leaked things in the press, and then there was a bit they sort of saw more public back roar than they thought. So like, okay, we'll keep him around, but they've been waiting for this door. They've been trying to cut money there.
They're bleeding money.
They're in that NHL deal that is killing them. They have tried to dump all their big high priced talent for the most part, outside of a couple like hockey insiders. They've all been gone there. So.
Yeah, like if this was incident number 1 of 85-year-old Don Cherry, he would have gotten a pass.
So I guess my question:
you think his Taylor's mad?
I saw a tweet last night that Fabricville is filing for bankruptcy.
It's funny.
So next October, what is first intermission?
Who cares?
Just a panel, just
That's
a regular
highlights.
Yeah, I'm just like I assume now they're not. I assume for the rest of the year, they're not gonna try to like replace it. They're just gonna like try to ride out the season.
It would be a lot funnier if they brought back Don Cherry, but he was just wearing like fake glasses and a mustache, and they pretended it wasn't him. And he was like just someone else, and they just put him back on air anyway because people are pissed that he's not on.
Oh, people, the whole like Don Cherry is right or boycotts, like things are. You have to go, man.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you can't boycott Sportsnet if you weren't watching in the first place. Tough look.
And the whole like, how many tweets did you see in the last day saying like Trudeau got to keep his job, but Cherry didn't?
Well, I think that's actually a perfect example of it. That you have one person who does something that is just awful and does blackface from 25 years ago,
but he's
whatever
an
it was.
all-around good guy.
But
he's perceived as.
But he's perceived as and has. I mean, he's the prime minister for one thing, but his platform is for inclusion,
good guy culture,
and standing up for people's rights. So he gets a pass for it, whether that's right or wrong. That's for you to decide. But it seemed like people decided when they reelected him that he's done. What he says now is who he is, not who he was back then. This is just the same thing from Cherry over and over.
Yeah.
That's the difference between it, I think, at least. Tim's not weighing in because he hates Trudeau.
Don Cherry had to go. That's all there was to it.
All right.
And before we fully move on, what did you mean here by drafts of tweets? Because I feel like that's a hidden gem for something Tim related.
No, that's actually a me thing. Just the amount of tweets that I write
and don't send,
that I just delete, are probably more than I do send.
Because just like I don't want to deal with
it. Well, it ties into the Cherry thing. Like I just, in the heat of the moment, I tee up some. I've been it's like the same reason I don't tweet when I drink.
Yeah. You're very disciplined. I have great respect.
I will not like. There's
you don't want to go down rabbit holes.
There is no upside to it, and I got some good singers, Geoff. Some great singers.
I know you well.
And then I have to share them with my wife, and then she's like, "What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, why are you like this?" So I was like, "I gotta tell someone. It's boiling up. I can't tweet it out, although I want to."
Yeah.
That's what the group chat's for, boys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait till that hack comes out. Oh, boy.
My group, that would be the end.
That's the end of everyone, by the way. We've had, like, all these people are going back in time now and finding, like, stuff you tweeted.
Yeah.
Someone's going to hack group chats on whether it's WhatsApp, Twitter Messenger, Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger. It's all going to come out, and it's going to turn out that every single person in the world is a horrible piece of shit.
When they're like that South Park episode when everyone's internet history was released.
Oh, yeah.
I like that episode, or the one where they had Mexican Joker, the one where they had to make Butters take all of the bad tweets and read them from everyone else. Anyway, that was tweets of drafts of tweets. Just because I had someone said something just completely moronic to me this morning. I had it lined up. And I said, you know what? I'm just gonna hit the mute button and not think about it again.
You've got good willpower with that.
Gotta have it. Arizona at San Francisco. This game opened before the Monday Nighter at 13.5. It is now minus 11.5. For the 49ers, 45.5, or 46 now, sorry, is the over-unders. They're giving the Cardinals a bit more credit here of being more competitive in this game. David Johnson still very clearly hurt. Chase Edmonds will not return, so Kenyon Drake will probably be the starting running back, or at least get the most run of everyone. Matt Breida is now hurt. George Kittle is now hurt. Emmanuel Sanders is now hurt. All three of those guys may not play in this game. Is this just a very simple case, Geoff, of short week and overtime? Just pick Arizona?
You know what I'm about. I'm not overthinking it. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go on Arizona this week. I'm going to take the points. To me, I mean, maybe losing 13's, you could argue, but I don't even think the spread drop has cost us a key number. 11 is big for me, though, so I would need to bet it at 11 or higher.
Tim?
Yeah, I mean, these teams played 2 weeks ago. It was 28-25 for the Niners. I'm going to take the points. It's too many for an interdivisional game, and the Niners are beaten up.
I mean, San Francisco covers this number -1 Andy Isabella ridiculous touchdown.
Okay, but
towards the end of that game.
Aunt had wheels, she'd be
but that we're not betting that game anymore. We're now betting this game. To say that's a 3-point game.
Worse shape than they were.
What's that?
Niners are not in as good a shape as they were that night. You know, they've got now more injuries. And they just came off an overtime game on a Monday night. It's a good spot for the Cardinals. So
it's a good spot for the Cardinals. I'm actually going to take the Niners. They're now back at home. It feels like Arizona gave them their best punch and they weren't even close anyway. That Arizona's going to do really well against teams with really subpar defenses. And Tampa has a good run defense, a bad pass D, and they were able to take advantage of that for some very big plays. I think we saw on Monday night that San Francisco, if anything else, their defense is fucking for real. That it's now back at home with the crowd noise going up against Kyler, who looked horrendous in his 2-minute drill. But if we say Jimmy G looked bad in his 2-minute drills, Kyler was awful. It's like he didn't have concept of time. Maybe he lives between time. Maybe he's interdimensional. Who? Would it be Phillip Rivers throwing Hail Marys every play?
I'm on Arizona.
I'll take San Francisco -11.5. Cincinnati and Oakland. Oakland favored by 10 points. This late slate is horrendous. I guess they're boxing out for Philly, New England here. Raiders favored by 10, 48.5 is the over-under. Tim, you are the resident Raiders expert. I think you might be, I don't want to say you're undefeated with them, but I think you've got maybe one Raiders game wrong this year.
Yeah, I definitely got them wrong against the Vikings. I don't know if I got any others wrong, but I definitely got that one wrong.
So you're the Gruden whisperer.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders. The Bengals are not really trying to win, and I don't think Finley's that good. And the Raiders have everything in front of them. The stumbles from Kansas City and from the Chargers have given them like a 15% chance of cracking the division. You never know. But you certainly have a really bad team in Cincinnati and a better than mediocre, a reasonably good team in the Raiders. And the line is a fair line, and we're going to take Oakland. I think they win the game by more than 10.
I like the Bengals, +10. I don't think that Oakland's all that good. Oakland's fine, and they could make the playoffs in the AFC because the AFC is just putrid. But I don't think that they're a particularly good team. I underrated how good of a job John Gruden has done this year. He's been pretty good. But there's just not a lot of talent on this team at all.
Chargers fucking gave him a game.
They did. And
like a fucking bunch of losers. This is the same number I was getting with Cincy last week versus the Ravens. I know they're on the road, but this number is too high. Oakland's not a double-digit favorite team. I, like you, did wrong about the Raiders and their prospects. They're having a great year. They get to be in the playoff hunt game. No, I didn't say they're losing the game. I said it's too many points. What do you think the advance was on this one? 7? This thing probably moved 3 points between them winning on national TV and the Bengals losing by 50 or 100. 200, whatever, since he lost by, felt like. Game was over a half hour before anyone else's, too.
It was. Good for them. Just running they're down by 35. Joe Mixon just keep running the ball.
I'm taking the 10. There's nothing spite about taking 10 points in an NFL game.
Yeah, especially against the Raiders. Like, have the Raiders blown out anyone yet this year?
That's a good
They
question.
felt like they blew out Chicago, but
Denver in week 1. Without looking at the score, I feel like they beat Denver comfortably in week 1.
Wasn't the first half close, but the game got close. Oh no, the whole game was an ass kicking. I think
so
it was they were screwing their ex-girlfriend.
They beat Indy, but that game was close. They beat the Bears, but that game was close. They beat the Chargers, but that game was
close. Lost to the Texans. That game was close.
Yeah, I feel like they just play a lot of close games.
The Lions game close.
Yeah, they lost to the Chiefs by like 14 or something like that because they cost him a teaser. Why? Yeah. They're not really a team geared to blow other teams out because they play to the score a lot of the time.
Yeah, I know, but I've been taking the Bengals a lot this year, and it seems to have been a bad decision most of the time. So
remember when you picked them to win the AFC North?
I did not pick that this year. I picked the under. I took the under on them.
No, I remember you.
Whatever we did an early
schedule.
Something.
Yeah, we did the schedule
release.
release.
Love the Bengals. True.
And I backed out of that by the time I came to my senses.
Game of the week, New England at Philly, or not? Or is Ravens Texans game of the week?
It's actually amazing. Is this a Fox game? Because in the old days it would have. It has to be because their whole thing is America's game of the week.
I thought this was a CBS game because it's an AFC at NFC team.
I'm still shocked NBC didn't flex.
That rule changed a couple years ago.
Oh.
Either this game or the Texans game, they should have flexed into primetime.
They can't just pick this game. Fox isn't just giving it up.
Well, then they could have taken the Texans and the Chiefs.
Well, that's a CBS game, so CBS probably protected that. Fox
but you only get so many blocks. You only get so many blocks.
It is a CBS game. You get 2 a week, I think.
I think you only get a handful a year to use. And I don't know if you want to use that on Texans Chiefs, to be honest with you. So I'm surprised they didn't take it.
So New England and Philly, both teams coming off a bye. Philly is plus 3.5. You gonna interrupt me? Said you wouldn't. Okay. You can raise your hand and sit there quietly until I'm finished, please. Thank you. 3.5, Philly is getting it home. 44.5 is the over-under. Both teams coming off a bye week. Doesn't look like there's going to be any Deshaun Jackson in this game. If you think that Philly wins this game or covers the 3.5, you think that their offensive line has gotten right. You think that Brady is washed to the point where he can't take advantage of the biggest deficiency that Philly has in its secondary and throwing deep, which wouldn't be the craziest idea in the world. His deep ball efficiency has been really good. They just so rarely throw the ball deep that, you hit 1 of 2 and all of a sudden you're looking great. But can the Patriots offensive line, did it get healthy enough that it can stop this pass rush from the Eagles? Because if it isn't, it's going to be a bad game for the Patriots, I think.
The Patriots are still furious about what happened in the Super Bowl. Between these two teams, they still bear that grudge big time. And does Belichick? Brady was talking about it this week that it still bothers him. Patriots do not lose 2 games in a row. They particularly aren't going to lose coming off a bye. Philly's mediocre. Patriots, I still think are the best team in the AFC. I think the Patriots rip them apart. I like the Patriots.
I like Philly. I like Philly to win outright in this game. New England doesn't need this at all. They don't. I mean, yes, they want to have the home field against Baltimore, but they're on cruise control from this point on. They need to get right for the playoffs. They need to figure out a way to protect Brady. And if things start going south early, and all of a sudden Philly is in that backfield, which they probably should be, with them getting healthy all at the same time, is that they have coming off the bye, they have this week, and then starting to look forward to next week. They could basically win out from this point. I know they have a tougher schedule here over the next 3 weeks, but the game against Houston is far more important than this game, and especially if Houston can take care of business against Baltimore, that really does you a solid. That I think that Philly really does need this. They're 4-5 right now?
I think they're 5-4.
Are they really? They're 5-4?
I believe, both they and Dallas are 5-4.
I thought they were 4-5.
No, I don't think so.
I think Tim's right. You
Where are their
both
5 wins?
You both. I could argue both sides. Like, I could convince someone who's not a football fan. I could make a strong case for both sides in the game. It's not a game I want to bet. I think it's going to be a really close game. I'm going to take the 3.5.
Do you know who the public loves in this game, if you had to guess?
The Patriots, because they lost?
Yes.
Something that I wanted to say, it does seem like we're seeing a pattern with the television this year and maybe starting last year. It seems like CBS and Fox
they won that stupid Green Bay game, didn't they? That's right.
CBS and Fox seem like they're in cahoots this year to make deplorable 4 p.m. slates, but with a power game that when you have a power game like this with only 2 other games, it literally brings in like primetime TV numbers. And it's almost like they're taking turns.
I agree.
because they don't do power games against each other at 4:00 ever.
Never.
Well, no.
Can you ever think of a time where CBS had a power game with Nance and Romo or whoever it was at the time, Nance and Sims, going up against the Fox power game? It's like there's an intentional split, and now they do these three games at 4 p.m., these really weak slates, but they try, and I know it's hard to do when they make the schedule in August or in the offseason. They try to make these power market games that will hold up.
They can flex. Like they flexed Packers Packers into 5 o'clock a couple of weeks ago for last week. So like,
Yeah.
they can.
I think it makes more sense. I think it's it's for the good of the league, and I think it's for the good of them.
Yes.
If they can trade off weeks knowing that they're getting these huge numbers. And listen, NBC is going to get their numbers regardless of who plays on Sunday night. It's the most watched television program on TV, bar none, over the past decade. But if you can get these numbers up rivaling that, it's better for both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they go to sell to advertisers, be like, listen, we're charging 2.5x for this game versus this one because we know we're going to have the marquee. See, it's like Major League Baseball not going up against Sunday Night Football. It's the same thing.
And to Tim's point, they do it's a lower pro flex, but they are sometimes changing 1 and 4 p.m. start times. Wouldn't have shocked me if in September the America's game of the week was Falcons Saints.
Definitely.
And they saw 3 weeks like, no, we got to just get out of that as this high profile game. We got to put two teams that are kind of with a pulse.
Did you take Philly?
I sided with Phil. I think it's going to be a close 3-point game. I could buy into so hard blindly on the narrative of the revenge for the Super Bowl and not losing back-to-back, but I think that's just the generic public vibe, and I do believe Philly might actually be more suited for this game, and their strengths might actually set themselves
It seems like their weaknesses may not get exposed as much versus lesser teams, but teams that are just more apt to take advantage of the things that they're bad at. The Patriots are just so solid across the board at everything. That's not really Philly's MO. Like, they're really bad in certain areas, really good in certain areas. And the Patriots don't overly, like, if you'd say anything that the Patriots don't really do well, it's vertical passing. And just do that against the Eagles the entire time, you're going to win. And
I forgot I'm teasing the Raiders down. That was the last team in my teaser. I forgot to mention it. Sorry.
you're teasing the Raiders down to -4.
So it's a 4-gamer, 5-gamer.
5-gamer.
So Oakland wins by 3.
I think Oklahoma.
Sunday night game, Chicago and the Rams.
Yuck.
I was just going to pencil in Tim's pick of the Rams -6.5 right now. It was at 7. It's now down to 6.5. I don't know who's betting.
Yeah, taking the Rams.
I know you're taking the Rams. The Rams suck.
I know, but I'm going to take them.
I'm most upset with myself on last week's show for doing the whole segment talking up Pittsburgh all year, talking down the Rams, and then at the very end turncoating because the Rams were off a bye and McVay, in such a shitty, stupid, small sample size, has these incredible off the bye or any sort of extended rest because his bye record, he's only been a coach for 2 years. And I took the Rams like a schmuck. I want to take the Rams again.
Take them. I'm taking them too.
I don't know. Chicago ceiling game?
No.
I don't trust Trubisky in the big game against a defense that can play.
That's the thing. Like, if there's one thing that you look
Can
at,
they play? Aren't they dying over there?
I mean,
No,
their offense is dying. Like,
defense.
they're now down 2 offensive linemen. Like, the Bears. What happened to the Bears defense? What happened to it? They lose one guy, and all of a sudden, it's no good anymore.
And they lost Morgan. Didn't got someone else to had a Trevathan. Someone got
Was
really
Trevathan
hurt.
out? Oh, I didn't see that.
Someone had a really ugly ankle injury in that game.
But
I
anyway,
don't
they're
wanna
getting
speculate.
decimated. I don't know if they can take
Yeah.
advantage. And like, Gurley's been shitty, but you should be able to run on the Bears, which every other team has been able to do. Like, there is a game where Gurley can do it, but the defense might cover this number for them.
Rams, sure.
Round of Rams from all of us, -6.5.
I
on
hate
Sunday
this
night.
team too.
Great. We all had the Sunday night last week.
I hate this team. They are so screwed.
Oh, they're going to be bad. In like maybe even next year, they might be
Maybe.
bad.
But for Sunday night, we like them.
I was actually looking at the over-unders that we picked before the season. I was the only one to go. No, you and I both went under on the Rams.
I was so out on the Rams, and they started 3-0. I was kind of eating it, but they're not good. I'm telling, they're not good. And Jared Goff is a bit of a problem, and he's got the highest cap number in football next year, and it's a real problem because there's good players on that team, but I don't know. Unless unless there's like they have their own salary cap. Like sometimes it feels like the Cowboys have.
Well, I asked DraftKings about that. I was like, hey, since I do content for you, I get like an extra $5K on my salary cap every single week? They said no.
That would be so funny.
I still wouldn't win, trust me.
What if there was like a charity contest, like a 50-50 that went to charity, but you could buy more
Salary cap?
salary cap?
Sure. Oh, I had an idea, by the way. This is what I want to do, because I was starting to figure out Christmas content. Well, I'm going to be away. Paul's going to be away. You're going to be away. Everyone's going to be away, kind of thing. So we need to get some stuff out.
Yeah.
We'll probably still try to do the pick show, whether we just do it remote
Okay.
or whatever. I was trying to think of different things. I have a few golf things that I want to do.
Can't wait.
But I was thinking about trying to do, and Tim, are you going to be in on this? We'll do like DraftKings Christmas. We'll take all Christmas related items and give them a like DraftKings price. And you have a salary cap and you got to build a team of 6. Like Santa is, I don't know, $10,000. Eggnog is $4,000. Just everything Christmas related. You have to build your superior Christmas team.
Coca-Cola with the Santas on the cans. $6,000.
Minus $500.
I think I saw those in the store this week, Tim.
Oh,
Which
I
also
can't
makes,
wait.
as a guy, as a shopper, Tim will appreciate this approach. You always got to keep an eye on the packaging because the packaging will indicate which is fresher.
Exactly.
Like clearly,
If I saw Christmas
the
cans, I'd
colas
be
with Santa on them are fresher than the non-cola Santas that might have been sitting there since July.
correct.
Does
Jeff
Coke
knows.
expire?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But
In a can? Like how long
Yeah,
does that
it
take to expire?
I'm not sure. But the
2 months.
cans do have an expiry.
They do.
Do you have any idea how long? Like, is it like 2
Couple
years?
No,
months.
you could taste
Oh.
it. Like it takes this
I know that it
weird,
gets
like-
flat, but if it stays in the can, like,
It's not even
after 2
flat.
months,
It's
it loses
like-
its carbonation and it doesn't taste right.
Tim, are you often to send like a Diet Cola back at a restaurant because it's not right?
I have never done that, I have to say.
But so you've sacrificed through drinking a lot of shitty, not properly tapped Diet Colas.
Yes.
Okay.
Monday night, we are going south of the border, Jeffrey.
It's a shame.
You should go down.
Down Mexico way.
Chiefs at Chargers in Mexico City. Are they going to have more fans at this game or like the LA games? There's a chance they have more at this one.
The Mexicans should be loyal to us, but they probably abandon us just like the San Diegans.
4 is the number here. +4 for
This
the
is our
Chargers.
sweet
52 and you're just doing it.
This is my game. I'm
Doing
sorry.
it. 52.5 is the over-under. Is the Chargers season over? And is Phillip Rivers hurt?
He's not hurt, but he's feeling ghosts, not seeing them. Okung left on the first possession of the game, and everything that felt calm and collected from the last little bit evaporated instantly. Some 4th rounder was just in his face all game. Oh, the right tackle got hurt too. We were down both tackles. Dead. And what a gutless fucking game. That pick
Jeff and I
on
are
the-
chatting
that-
on Twitter.
That pick
And then
on the
Phil
first
throws that
fucking
pick.
drive.
You're like, oh no, gotta go, bye.
That pick on the first damn drive, Keenan is wide open. The horrible 2-minute drill. The defense couldn't step up once we made a great drive to take the lead. Disappointing. I got no case to make. I only got one case.
Melvin Gordon looked good.
I got one case. It's this stupid NFL that I wouldn't even fucking watch if I wasn't a whack packer for one of these member clubs. But it's this stupid league, and it's 4 points. And you can tell me I'm wrong, and my perceptions are my reality. But this game, this spread, historically feels like exactly when we play our best football.
I mean, there's no difference between you saying a few weeks ago when whether it was the home game or the road game with Phillip Rivers getting more than 4 or more points
he
as
is-
an underdog.
you
He's great in this situation. It doesn't mean they win.
No.
But he can cover this number.
It's actually like people can look it up, find it yourself. It is insane what his cover rate is when getting more than a field goal. They have an MVP on the other side though. They can just buck us. We have safety problems. A lot of the things I thought that would kill us against like the Packers per se, like the safety injuries, just Rodgers. Like I'm still think Mahomes can kill us, but I don't know. Something feels weird here. I don't know. Is the season over? It's like 85% over. But I'm here. I'll go through this fake brick wall.
People think that's a real brick wall. Did you know that?
Well, not anymore.
Tim, much like the audio levels, might have. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you can't even really see the brick anymore.
In
In the shot, at least.
I'm
if you look
here.
at the shot.
It's just in my nature. I will give them everything within me, like until that 7th loss shows up. As long, like, yeah, if you're like 1 in whatever, then it's over before. But as long as, I don't know, man, until that 7 losses there's just like a part of me that just will fight with them and hope they fight for me.
I want
The Chiefs are the 31st ranked running defense, and we might just try to run, pass. Phillips got to convert 3rd and 4s. Like, that might be the plan all game. 8.5-minute touchdown drives. They score in 2. We get the ball back. Try to run. Melvin, I still blame a lot of what went wrong here on him. He is playing better. His yards after contact are the player we thought he was, but I still personally hold him responsible. Maybe that's just wrong of me because I think it was an entirely selfish thing. I think his only bit of leverage was Phillip Rivers' career clock, and he tried to play it, and it backfired, and he came back and had to have a training camp on the goal line. So I still, my ill will isn't gone there. This is going to be a hard game to win, though.
Yeah, if
Hard
Kansas City had won last week, I'd feel comfortable taking the Chargers to cover this. But them losing, they're just going to come out.
The spread is going to be any different?
No, but I just think that Kansas City is going to be different.
Sure, but they're flawed. Like, for as good as they are, they have some real freaking flaws.
I agree, but
I don't know if we're
they're now
enough
getting
or good
everything
enough to
back
take advantage.
together. Like, they've had this team. Not only was Mahomes gone for a while, he was hurt for like 3 weeks before that. You can't.
But you're forgetting this team was playing close games out the yin yang before it got like bad.
Who?
The Chiefs.
They weren't playing. As soon as Mahomes hurt his ankle, they started playing close games.
They've been playing close games all season outside of like 2.
Yeah. Do you not remember when Mahomes got hurt?
Even when the games. So how long are we giving them? These are the whole seasons a pass?
Like week 3, week 4 is like when he like really hurt his ankle and should have been sat down, and he wasn't. And they let him play on a bum ankle, which led to a dislocated kneecap.
Okay. Well, maybe there's a rut in the ground in Azteca Field.
That could be the case. Like, that's your best hope here is that weird stuff happens in Mexico.
We've been practicing all week in Colorado.
Well, that's not Mexico. As I've heard, you can't just build a wall around Colorado to keep the Mexicans out.
No, I think it's an altitude thing.
Okay.
So we're sort of like preparing for this game like it's, well, I guess
like your Lance Armstrong in Tour de France? Tim, who are you taking?
Chiefs -4. I just don't think, like you said, if Kansas City had prevailed last week, I'd have felt more comfortable taking the Bolts. But, I think the Chargers are done, and I think the Chiefs still have something to prove. So I don't love it. Like, I won't be a super lock or a Super 7 pick, but I think the Chiefs will play.
6-1 in Super 7 last week, despite only winning 7 games against the spread. The pick was 2 weeks in a row was fading that like free money game. Like, I remember 2 weeks ago, it was the Minnesota plus 2.5 against Kansas City. And you got 2 games on the field if you went the other way. I took Tennessee against Kansas City. People thought that was free money the other way, and everyone had it the other way.
I say this not as a point of pride because at some point I kind of just want the fork stuck in it and would love to draft 8th, 9th, 10th overall because I don't think what I want is possible. And you have known me maybe in this window of maybe they're good, maybe they're bad. If they can't achieve what I need them to achieve, I want them to lose every single game. Now, that's why it pains me to say I've seen it my whole freaking life. This is like this spread is the games they play their best football in. And they're going to show up, and God willing, they played with that effort a week ago.
Yeah, real poor effort. What were they doing at the end of the game? I really...
Kurt Warner broke it down. A couple of the
Yeah, but his opinion doesn't count because he wore jeans to a broadcast. Tim told me that.
A couple of the deep balls were the right call. They weren't executed because the safety did bite. But I don't know. We could have just hit Eckler. We could have hit Henry.
The safety can bite all he wants. If you have less than 2 seconds to throw, you're still not going to complete the pass.
Yeah, no, I get it. And a little thing to Eckler, a little thing to Henry. I always feel like in any of these situations, the hardest first down sometimes feels like the first one Just get the first one, and then you got to
But,
go.
like,
So it's
you
really
had
bad. I don't know.
You had so much time, and the Raiders just showed you the blueprint of what to do in this situation. The drive before, when it was just dump over the middle of Richard for 13 yards, dump over the middle of Richard for 15 yards. They could have done that, and all they had to do was kick a field goal.
I'm not gonna.
It was
I know,
ridiculous.
and their kicker's a superstar. I'm not gonna punch myself in the face, but I want to.
Save that. Will you get the fuck off Facebook Messenger?
It was Geoff.
I'm not on Facebook.
I know. I was.
But I thought you were implying that I sent you a
Every
message.
week we tell you to get off of it, and you just can't help yourself, can you? What,
No.
please. What is it that you're looking at that's
I'm
on there
curious.
that's so important?
No, I just
rather than doing the show.
Who's just sent you a message?
Tim?
He was making fun of my Subway stuff.
Of course he was.
The two of you. So unprofessional.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You've had a bad week. The Chargers
I don't-
losing. Tim, on
I
the
don't-
other hand, is out here living his truth.
I don't know any better.
No, I should have. Oh, that was so upset. Yeah, it could be. I would like Philip to play well
Okay.
the rest of the season. I don't want it to end like this. I am hearing rumblings. It's just the reality.
That he's going to retire? Didn't you
of
just hear
life.
that from Tim like 3 weeks ago?
No, that I just don't know what's going to happen. No, he's not retiring. He's not retiring.
He's
He's
going to
not
play
retiring.
for maybe there'll be a trade in the offseason.
No.
You'll get Tannehill, and he'll go to Tennessee.
The one team he could play for is Tennessee. I don't know.
He'll play for the Panthers if they get rid of Cam.
I would. Everything other than the championship, which he couldn't bring. You've known me in all the years we did the show. All I asked for, Pat, was that they would let the next guy get some time with him. And if they don't allow for that, I will feel like we wasted the best opportunity in the world.
Okay. Superlocks. Tim, you are taking the New York Jets plus 1.5?
Oh yeah.
Would you say it's free money?
Well, yes, because listen, the Indians aren't going to score. But basically, the league has given us a late bye. After giving us a bye in week 4, they're giving us a bye in week.
What about when they had the bye before the bye earlier this year, and then they lost by 4,800 points?
Whatever.
Geoff?
Jeez. I got a lot of contenders.
Okay, what's your short list?
Could have been somebody.
Bills, Houston, Washington.
I mean, you've made this bet with Tim. You should just take Washington.
But he also made a Bills bet.
That's true.
Houston feels so right, though.
It does feel like a Houston week. Yes, you're correct.
Houston. High probability of a push because Houston screws up. Or Tucker misses the field goal to win it, and then Baltimore scores a touchdown in overtime.
Oh, we're going to win so
Covers.
big this week. I'm fired up again. Come my way.
You are, what is wrong? What?
I'm
allows you
taking
to go
Carolina
there?
minus 5.5, by the way, is my super lock.
Just the more I think of it, the more exciting I get.
What allows you to go to these places?
I don't know. Just the idea of them winning another game, 2 in a row. Great.
2 in a row.
How many wins do they have?
2.
Ooh, we're
Someone-
going to get all the heat.
Someone pointed out that the Jets have only won one thing in the past 2 years, and that was losing free agency. They signed awful Tremaine Johnson last year, and they signed Le'Veon Bell this year to all the monies.
Yeah, CJ Mosley's hurt. It's
Third
not going to
time's-
be. It's not going to be easy there.
No, they should draft a quarterback. They get a real quarterback. Maybe they should sign Tannehill.
It's all right. You'll see.
Trade Darnold to the Chargers to reinvigorate the
You don't-
LA fan
you
base.
do not want that. They've already seen him have enough turnovers at USC. They don't need to see it again. Free money teaser, Tim. Please recap for us. You are 1-9 this year.
Yeah, I like this one, though. Dolphins, Texans, Panthers, Raiders, Jets, plus 400.
Oh, so it's a 6-teamer.
5-teamer. Jets, Raiders, Panthers, Texans, Dolphins.
You also said you teased the Saints down to a pick'em.
Oh my goodness, you are right. It is a 16. The Saints are on this too. I clicked off it. That's why.
Do you even make these bets?
Yeah,
Tim?
do you actually make these bets, or are you just lying to people?
I clicked off.
That's the
it.
thing. He glad hands Rudolph so hard. I bet him to score
Yeah,
first
for touchdown and win all the money.
Someone actually profits off a feeling. Tim just is here for your likes on the internet.
Sorry, so I did click off that. Yeah, the Saints is well down to a pick 'em. So this is actually plus 600.
I'm going to put a teaser out there.
Oh,
yeah. This Thanksgiving, we're back to even.
And this is how
I like that
real
you have to win two 6-1 teasers to get back to even.
this is how real people make teasers.
Okay.
2 games, 7 points. Houston and Tampa.
Houston
13 and 11.
Houston
Other
plus
way, other way. But
Houston plus 11, Tampa plus 13.
Yeah.
I like Fienberg free money teasers. They don't come out that often, but I like them.
Because you play too many fucking teams in your teaser.
Well, and now I've got to press.
I don't actually. Hey, I know I took Indy in that game, but you could tease the Jags up to 7 and tease the under up to 51 in that game.
Feels like one the books might not let you do.
Oh, really? Yeah, potentially so.
Sometimes in college, because the spreads are so big, that
Yeah,
there
this is
has
the
to
NFL.
be-
This is the pros, Jeff.
there has to be some like there is some rules on what they'll let you tease like with a total if they're too close, if that makes any sense. If like a total's like 44, but like someone is like a 18-point underdog, they sort of won't let you tease the under.
It correlates
yeah.
too much.
There's
Yeah.
too much of a correlate. Yeah, that's the words.
I could see trying to do that same thing with the Rams and Chicago game too. Even if it's a 6-point tease, tease the Rams down to minus a half point and tease the under up to 47.5.
Yeah. Can I go somewhere briefly?
Sure. How
Tim-
briefly?
I'll be brief. Tim thinks we've been here before. Tim thinks the international team is going to win the President's Cup. I'm just going to tell you why it's impossible.
It's not impossible.
No, it's
Plus-
for one reason
plus
it's impossible.
It's not impossible.
For one reason it's impossible. Tiger Woods would rather die than have his captaincy beside a loser. It's not the Ryder Cup where it's like it's very likely or possible he could lose. He shouldn't lose this. He will not allow it to happen. That's why he didn't throw any bones with his captain's picks. He didn't throw any, like, we're playing inferior opponents. I'm going to, like, Lifetime Achievement Award at Kevin Na or a Kisner or put air in Spieth's tires. Nothing. Just took the best freaking
I
players
owe you that
possible.
$50. That's true. I really thought he'd take one of Spieth or Phil. I really.
I'm so mad.
Instead, he threw shade at Phil.
I'm mad I didn't ask to make a bigger bet, but I feel like if I actually tried to make a bigger bet with you, you probably would have like thought about getting odds. But the
Yes.
bet was small enough where it's like,
Yeah.
I'll make it. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so that's dead. Tim's money is dead. Although the only times it has been really close is when the Americans really have to travel. But Tiger will not let them lose. Like, no. They'll walk home from
Well, here's the
Melbourne.
thing. No one cares about the President's Cup.
Yeah, okay, fine. But that's the thing. Yes, no one cares. Tiger Woods' name is beside it as a captain. Will not allow a loser. Just won't allow it.
Okay. Geoff Fienberg, you can follow him on Twitter at @GFienberg. You can follow Paul behind the camera at Paul Shag. And of course, if he can ever get himself off Facebook Messenger and onto Twitter, you can follow him at Tim Undercust.
Tim and August.
Not my name. At Tim Anderson 87. I bring the funny. I bring the laughs.
You brought that list. We may have to retire Subway now.
I don't think we're going to... Listen.
Will it be out of business by the time we try to do another Subway list?
Yeah, I say it will be such an underground chain.
Paul.
I have one last thing that bothers me about his list.
Okay.
So he has the chicken bacon ranch, which he's already stand for the chicken being amazing. I'm sure he likes bacon.
Just get it without ranch?
Yeah, you get the chicken bacon ranch, but you just put on the chipotle sauce or the southwest sauce, and then it's like your second last. I understand tuna being awful.
It's
Sorry.
like eating a BLT and saying, but leave off the lettuce. But it's not a BLT anymore.
Yeah,
It's
but I
something
do get that a lot. Instead of leaving, I get the lettuce taken off. I get avocado put on.
Okay, but then it's not a BLT anymore. It's something else. Now, it
Yeah.
might be good. You might like it. But what it isn't is a BLT.
Yeah, but you get to choose your sauces with every single sub on the menu.
But
So,
it's
like,
called ranch.
all right. So,
You have to have the ranch. It's a sine qua non. You have to have
okay, then what sauces come on the Subway Club? Because that you
That one
rank
doesn't
that
have
one.
automatic.
Okay.
Some do, like the sweet onion chicken teriyaki, obviously, you get the sweet onion sauce. Like some sandwiches have it, some sandwiches don't. I like to slather the meatball one in light mayonnaise and the Southwest sauce
Oh
and
my
the
God.
marinade.
Oh, dear
Oh my god!
Mayonnaise
Which
on the
is like
meatball
you
is
need
like
to
all
add-
time.
Oh, you put mayonnaise on a meatball sub, and you not only do that, you smother it in mayonnaise.
And the Southwest sauce. That's why the V is so good.
I'm
Jeff
glad
was
we
thinking
uncovered.
for
I'm glad we uncovered that for the people at the end.
Tim, you saw that, eh?
I saw that face. Yes.
I was looking at myself in the camera as he said that. I was just- so gross. It's so gross.
We've broken Pat. He can't even. He can't even finish the show.
I haven't been feeling well anyway. That just thinking about that made me fucking sick to my
it's
stomach.
pretty
Actually revolting.
Oh my god, Tim, seek help. Is he talking? I can't hear him.
No, he's not talking.
I stand by that.
I just think he doesn't go out of town a lot, but when he goes out of town and there's opportunities to eat at like good in different places, he just goes to Subway, I assume, right?
Yeah, because
Or
he's
like a Sbarro.
I mean,
or what do they call it?
Sparrow.
or Hard Rock cafes, like places I know and like.
There was no Hard Rock Cafe. There's a Hard Rock Cafe in Reykjavik. And I walked by, I sent a picture to Tim. I was like, oh, packed at the Hard Rock Cafe in Reykjavik. Not a single person in there. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think that is just I mean, they had some nice real estate properties, but I think all those, the Planet Hollywoods, the Hard Rocks, it's just
Imagine going to one of those things. How big of a loser do you need
it's
to
a
be to go
dead
to one of
concept.
those?
It was very 90s, right? Like
Yeah,
we-
but it was
like-
very 90s for people who were like our age in the 90s, who are now like 60.
Okay, yes. You are right.
Oh, I can go see the Kane from Citizen Kane? Perfect. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, what you do, you see, is you like this, you smash the like button for the episode. You leave a DraftKings handle in the comment section. Tell me your favorite spread or total for the week in week 11. Also playing the Pat Mayo Experience DraftKings Open. The link is in the podcast description or the YouTube description or the Facebook description for this show. Also, if you are an audio listener, 5-star review, DraftKings handle, something you like about the show, you might as well subscribe while you're at it and download all the episodes too, to really pump us up in the Apple Podcast charts. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience.
All right, very good, boys.
See you later.
What are you having for dinner?
Yeah, what
I
are you
don't
having
know.
for dinner?
Kind of think I'm about to go to. I might get some Subway on the way home.
I mean, it's on the brain, right?
How could you not after
Yeah, I might go
today?
for the meatball sub actually.
Cut the old way.
If the
Can you build up the courage to ask?
So what do you when you get like a combo? What do you get to drink?
I usually
DC.
just get water.
Oh, DP.
No, water.
It's
Can
so
you
funny
get it
that
cut
it's not like
Can you
the-
get it cut the old way? Just so
You
that,
can,
and then
if it
post
was
it to
an app.
Twitter.
If they will do it, I will.
You should what you should actually do is go get it, cut the old way, and then do your first video.
Yeah, you should definitely be doing these videos.
Can you
Dude, these videos would be so hot.
Will you ask them if they even know the old way?
I will. I will ask that question.
Yeah, but then he'll just lie to us and say that they do know.
Well, no, they'll have evidence if they do.
Yeah.
Why?
they'll have
Why
a
would you?
picture
He's gonna
of
get it cut
I'll
himself.
that
show you the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be Tim just cutting. Oh no, Tim would cut himself instead of just cutting it. That's true.
That's what I meant to ask you, Tim. If you bought like a loaf, not a loaf, but like a sandwich hoagie, like at the grocery store and like deli meats, would you cut it the old way at home?
Yes. Or I try to. I once did that, but I cut all the way through it, and so I just have an oval of bread. I cut too deeply, so you got to be careful with these things.
I would too. Don't worry.
All right, guys. Talk to you all later.
See you later.
Bye,
Oh, we have a
Tim.
Christmas present here for you. We won't tell you what it is though.
Yeah, we
Is it
do.
the Sam Darnold jersey?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Do you want it?
Do you want to see it?
Yes. Please
wanna-
bring.
do you
I
wanna
actually
see-
do want to see. Yeah.
There it is.
It's like on field. It's
The
actually like
black
super.
one.
It's the black one.
The black one. Oh, it's gonna be the white one. You lied to me. You said it was the white one, Jeff.
I don't know that I even knew which
Oh.
one it was to
Fair
say
enough.
that.
You know
It's
what?
really, you know what though? It is really.
I'm still gonna wear it.
It's like an official jersey.
I
It's
wish it-
really
Yeah,
nice.
oh, yeah. No, listen.
I wish it said Gotham instead of New York.
Gotham City.
It is
I-
really nice. They make
I
good
appreciate it.
replicas now.
I do appreciate it, and I will wear it.
I'm not.
Who sent it in?
I'll send you the contact of the guy who sent it. So you
Yeah,
can thank
please
him.
do. I
You
want to
don't-
say thank you.
You don't need to thank me.
Who was it? who
No,
sent
no,
it
but
in?
I want to thank
Ryan,
that.
like Walton or
Perfect.
something.
Tim
No,
will reach
I do
out.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I will. I will just DM you his Twitter handle so you can
Thanks.
tweet him.
Yeah, if people out there in the Twitterverse want to send us free things, go ahead. Send it to Pat's PO box. I'll get it to where it needs to go. I might wear this on the show next week, Tim.
Go ahead.
Mayo experience. Experience.